Chapter 468. Meng Bingxue was not surprised when she heard Yang Wu's decision. Her soul had completely recovered, and she knew that Yang Wu was a very opinionated person. If he really agreed to go with her, she would be surprised. It will be very dangerous for you to stay. Meng Bingxue emphasized. Do you think I will care about that? Yang Wu asked back. He paused for a moment, and then said, I am already used to fighting on the edge of life and death. The only thing I am worried about is my family. Meng Bingxue frowned and said, I will go back to Mount Kunlun. After I finish my business, I will take Uncle and Annie to Mount Kunlun. Yang Wu shook his head and said, Bingxue, I appreciate your kindness, but this is not a good choice. You have been missing for many years. It is better if you don't go back. Mount May must have already sent the news back. I think there will be people who don't want to see you go back. They don't want me to go back, but I will go back. There are some things I want to settle with him. Meng Bingxue said with determination. Then I wish you good luck. I hope we will have a chance to meet again in the future. Thank you for protecting me all this time. Yang Wu said with incomparable sincerity. Meng Bingxue's heart felt a little suffocated. She didn't want to leave Yang Wu. Compared to the previous man, Yang Wu felt more real to her. During this period of time, she had been together with him day and night. She had already understood what kind of man Yang Wu was. In her eyes, Yang Wu's background was very ordinary, but he had an extraordinary heart. He was loyal to his parents, and he was strong and unyielding. He was an indomitable man. Even if he was still weak now, his speed of improvement was incomparable. Even in the transcendent world, he was a top heaven's pride, not to mention that he was a heavenly alchemist. She was certain that Yang Wu would definitely shine brightly in the future. The shadow in her heart had already been gradually replaced by Yang Wu. She also wanted to head to the transcendent world with Yang Wu so that the two of them could always be together. Meng Bingxue changed the topic and said, You really shouldn't have let those people from the Purple Cloud Palace go. Once they return, there will be no end of trouble. Even though those who are above the heavenly fish realm don't dare to come to Mount Amay's territory openly, they have plenty of ways to deal with you. You should find a place to hide and wait until your strength reaches a higher realm. If you want to go to the Purple Cloud Palace in the future, don't go before you reach the Dragon Transformation Realm, or even a higher realm. The Dragon Transformation Realm was a realm above the Heavenly Fish Realm. For Yang Wu, this realm was still quite far away. Many people were stuck in the Earth-Sea Realm, unable to break through to the Heavenly Fish Realm, let alone reach the Dragon Transformation Realm. If one wanted to break through to the Dragon Transformation Realm, not only did they need talent, they also needed a lot of training resources. Even in the Transcendent world, reaching the Dragon Transformation Realm was not easy. Meng Bingxue's request made Yang Wu's expression change. Even though he was confident, he was not arrogant. He was able to break through to the Earthsea realm in a little more than a year because of the Zenith 9 mystery tactics. However, the Zenith 9 mystery tactics had a fatal flaw, which was that without Xian essence to devour, there was no way for him to evolve. It was also difficult for him to increase his realm. If he wanted to break through to the Dragon Transformation realm, he would need to find at least 2 types of Xian essence to devour. Meng Bingxue only said this to make Yang Wu feel that the Purple Cloud Palace was not easy to deal with. In fact, she was already holding back. What she wanted to say was that even a saint might not be able to scare the Purple Cloud Palace. Yang Wu was not a coward. On the contrary, he was a person who became braver in the face of adversity. Otherwise, he would not have been able to return to the king's city from the mountain prison and cause so much trouble. He clenched his fists and said firmly, I know. I will definitely reach the Dragon Transformation Realm. Whether it was to protect his family or to bring you back, he had to become stronger. Then I'll be leaving. Meng Bingxue said softly. Yang Wu's heart tightened. He was really reluctant to leave. He could not help but blurt out, Can I stay? Meng Bingxue looked at Yang Wu and hesitated. Then she smiled and said, Okay, then I'll stay. Yang Wu said happily, Really? Yes, really. But I want to drink tonight. Meng Bingxue nodded seriously and said, Okay, then let's get drunk tonight. Yang Wu said happily. The two of them did not return to the King City. Instead, They took out some wine and drank to their heart's content. That night, Meng Bingxue and Yang Wu talked a lot about the transcendent realm. Yang Wu also memorized it all. The transcendent realm was beyond his imagination. That was the true holy land for cultivation. In the eyes of the people in the transcendent realm, the mortal world was just a place for the lower class. The two could not be compared at all. All the superpowers gathered in the transcendent realm. They all chased after the pinnacle of strength and longevity. They fought for all kinds of cultivation resources. It was even more cruel than the mortal world. If one did not have a superpower to rely on, without enough strength, it was almost impossible to survive in the transcendent realm. Meng Bingxue suggested that Yang Wu go to the transcendent realm as soon as possible. Only there would he be able to obtain more resources to become stronger. Moreover, she believed that with Yang Wu's talent, as long as he stayed in the transcendent realm for 10 years, he would definitely have a chance to break through to the dragon transformation realm and become the youngest dragon transformation realm expert. At the same time, Meng Bingxue also told Yang Wu that it was not easy for people from the mortal world to go to the transcendent realm. There were realm protectors between the two realms. These realm protectors were the people from the superpowers or other rogue cultivators. If one wanted to go from a mortal world to the transcendent realm, they would have to go through the realm enchantment passage. The realm enchantment passage was very dangerous. Only after reaching the heavenly fish realm could one pass through it. However, it was not a 100% success rate. At least half of the people who tried to pass through would die in the passage. Yang Wu remembered these things in his heart. He was also looking forward to going to the transcendent realm. In the past, he and Skinny Monkey-like wanted to build a sect that could compete with any superpower in the transcendent realm. Now, it seemed that he was too naive. The night was getting darker. The moon and the stars were getting brighter. Yang Wu and Meng Bingxue were getting drunk. Meng Bingxue looked at Yang Wu's eyes more and more blurred. The two of them were sitting closer and closer. Yang Wu felt a fire burning in his body. He felt like something was going to happen. Suddenly, Meng Bingxue pushed him down on the grass. He was like a guilty lamb, unable to resist. He looked at her and asked, "What are you doing? I want you." Meng Bingxue replied with a red face. She leaned over and kissed Yang Wu's thick lips. Her body fragrance went into his nostrils and accelerated his boiling blood. He exclaimed in his heart, "I am not an easy person." The night wind was blowing gently. Their clothes were fluttering in the air. There was a primitive and beautiful sound. Yuer's face was covered by dark clouds, as if she didn't want it to see some embarrassing scenes. The stars were also blinking. They emitted a gentle brilliance, adding a charming color to the pitch-black night. There were bugs chirping in a low voice, as if they were singing cheerfully. It was such a wonderful night. The night passed quickly. The east was getting brighter. When Yang Wu woke up, Irin had already left. There was only a lingering fragrance left. It was unforgettable. This day, Yang Wu didn't absorb the purple qi. He just stared blankly in one direction. He didn't come back to his senses until noon. "I will go to Mount Kunlun in the future. I will admire the moon with you again," Yang Wu murmured to himself. His eyes were full of determination. Meng Bingxue used to follow him. She was very important to him. She might not be as important as Yu, but she was as important to him as Wanlan Xin. Especially after this night, she was even more important to him than Wanlan Xin. He had to take responsibility. Even if he was forced to do it, he should do it. Yang Wu calmed himself down and went to the battlefield. He took all the cosmos rings from those dead people. Cosmos rings were rare in the mortal world. However, they were the most common treasures in the supernatural world. It was convenient for them to carry things. After Yang Wu obtained the cosmos rings, he checked them one by one. They were isolated by the power of the restriction. Even if their master died, they still had the power to block it. Ordinary people might not necessarily be able to obtain the things inside. This point wasn't a problem for Yang Wu. He used his powerful soul force to attack the restriction's power and break it open. After Yang Wu saw the things inside, his face became very happy. He muttered to himself, "The collections of the supernatural world are really extraordinary." He took a rough look and saw that there were many Xian spirit stones in the interspatial rings of the disciples of the Purple Heaven Pavilion. Moreover, their quality was at least of the middle grade, and there were even some high-grade ones. There were also many elixirs, weapons, and other precious items. As for He Jun and Ji Tongping's Cosmos rings, there were even more treasures. He took a glance and saw several blocks of Xian spirit stones. There were also many elixirs and even some cultivation techniques. Any one of these items could cause a bloody storm in the mortal world. Little Wu, you don't need the herbs here for now. Give them to me. I'll help you keep them. Little Hay came out of nowhere and said, Little Hay, you have to be kind as a dog. I didn't see you give me any of the herbs you got from the Medicine King Pavilion. Now you want to steal mine? Do you have any shame? Yang Wu retorted, You can't say that. If I didn't find the soul spring for you, would that girl Meng Bingxue have recovered? If she didn't recover, she could come and save your life. Little Wu, you have to be grateful. It's a must to be grateful. I'll find you a beautiful little bitch to serve you later. Let's go home first. Dad and Mom are worried. Chapter 469. In summer, the temperature was very high, and the sun was very poisonous. It was the favorite season for martial artists who cultivated fire, xianqi. They could absorb the power of the sun to enhance their strength. Other martial artists did not like this season. It was too hot and stuffy, which was not conducive to their cultivation. Regardless of summer or winter, the people in the city had to sell their goods on the streets to earn their hard-earned living expenses. The Xia Kingdom had experienced many battles and was much more depressed than before. It was unknown whether it could be restored to its original prosperous appearance. The current empress was so young. Could she hold up the flag? After Tang Xiaohan opened the Saint's Edict, she issued a few more edicts consecutively. She reduced taxes on all fronts, released a batch of prisoners, improved the irrigation system, and won the hearts of the people. Other than that, Tang Xiaohan also distributed silver taels to the people in the royal city who had been affected by the battle and whose houses had been destroyed, helping them rebuild their homes. These people were all deeply grateful to the empress, and they all praised her benevolence, righteousness, and virtue. Her position could be considered stable. Tang Xiaohan used Qiao Sanyi as the prime minister. Qiao Sanyi also recommended a group of proud disciples to fill many important positions in the court. Minister Song's people were all dismissed, and even the officials who were close to Minister Song were beheaded to prevent the Xia Kingdom from falling into chaos again. Qiao Sanyi was an old minister of 3 generations, and his ability was unquestionable. His disciples were all real literary heroes and could bring peace to the country. As for the generals, Wu Sanhao, who had a different surname, was left into Xia Kingdom and ordered to live into Xia Kingdom to prevent them from rebelling again. Chao Jinda was arranged to take over the position of Marshal Wu Sanhao and go to the northwest to stabilize the border. Fun Tianxiong was called back to become the defender of the city, and Su Yinshui took over his position. Su Yinshui's battle strength had been further improved, and he was younger than Fun Tianxiong. He was more energetic, so it was not a problem to let him guard the border. There was also Yang Wu, who had a different surname, contributed a batch of king pills to the court. There were Earth King pills, profound congealing pills, and other extraordinary pills, which gave birth to a new batch of experts to strengthen the Xia Kingdom's strength. This series of changes fully demonstrated the Empress's extraordinary ruling methods. She placed people she trusted in important positions, not only allowed the Xia Kingdom to transition smoothly, but also allowed it to soar again. Tang Xiaohan didn't slack off on her cultivation because of political affairs. She entered the forbidden grounds of the imperial family and obtained the imperial edict. From there, she obtained the inheritance left behind by the saints of her clan. The speed of her improvement increased by leaps and bounds, and she soon approached the pinnacle of the human general realm. After taking a break from political affairs for a few days, she broke through the Earthsea realm in one fell swoop and became the youngest queen in Great Xia. After she broke through to the Earthsea realm, she no longer put the imperial family members under house arrest and gave them a lot of comfort. They knew that they could no longer shake the position of the empress, so they didn't dare to act rashly. They all accepted the arrangement of the Empress. As a group of people who were raised in captivity, it was much more comfortable than being imprisoned in the cold palace. Prince Yang's mansion. Recently, Yang Wu had been very low-key. After the battle with the people of Purple Cloud Palace in Mauname, he had been in seclusion since he came back. Although his combat power in the mortal world was very strong, he knew it was far from enough. Meng Bingxue said that the people sent by Purple Cloud Palace and Mauname were only the peripheral forces of the transcendent world. The real experts were much stronger than he imagined. He had to become stronger as soon as possible so that he could face more challenges. In this half a month, Yang Wu had been cultivating crazily. In addition to absorbing Xianqi and accumulating strength, he had also been cultivating the two heavenly skills, Dragon Flame Fist and Meteor Sword. The Dragon Flame Fist was a fist technique that he had obtained from the ghost in the urinal. It was a heavenly skill, and when cultivated to the perfect stage, it would allow him to unleash a total of 49 transformations, accompanied by the appearance of a dragon. Meteor Sword was a sword skill that Yang Wu obtained from He Zhan's Qian Kuan Ring. He found that this sword skill was similar to the Nameless Sword style. Even if they were not the same combat skill, they might have the same origin. Before this, when Yang Wu was fighting with the Heavenly Fish Realm, he found that he had too few combat skills that he could rely on. Besides the Yang family spear art, barbaric fist, dragon turtle sea turning skill, and nameless sword style, there were no other combat skills that could display his true strength. That was why he worked so hard to cultivate combat skills. Dragon Flame Fist could only display its power by using firepower. He had Blue Enchantress, and with this fist skill, he could display a strong enough power. However, Blue Enchantress was the talent of his heart. Its strength was determined by the strength of his heart. Therefore, if he wanted to display the true power of Dragon Flame Fist, he had to continue to strengthen the strength of his heart. Meteor Sword had a total of 4 swords. The first sword was Chasing Stars and Moon. The second sword was Stars Like Rain. The third sword was Rainbow Starlight. The fourth sword was Meteor Fall. This sword skill was about speed. The faster the sword was, the fiercer the sword was. Once it was cultivated to perfection, it would be able to shoot out millions of meteors. The phenomenon would be very shocking. Yang Wu had used meditation to cultivate these 2 combat skills to the great accomplishment realm. If he wanted to reach the perfect realm, he would have to go through actual combat. During the process of meditation, Yang Wu's soul force increased once again. The 7 petals and leaves had become even more powerful, and the condensed soul was even more powerful. This was the benefit brought to him by the Soul Control Sutra. As his soul power increased, the power of his soul would become stronger. It was not a joke to kill with a stare. Half a month later, Yang Wu came out of closed-door cultivation. He used the soul-body fusion technique to cultivate Dragon Flame Fist and Meteor Sword. He quickly grasped the essence of these 2 combat skills, and his battle power increased greatly. After cultivating for a day, Yang Wu closed himself up again. He took out the urinal and asked Little Hay beside him, "Little Hay, are there really ghost cultivators in this world?" "Woof, woof. When have I, the Celestial Emperor, ever lied to you?" The ancestors of the Ghost Clan created the ghost cultivation art with their firm remnant souls. They cultivated their perfect soul bodies and further refined their physical bodies, becoming true ghost cultivators. They have special talents and are very difficult to deal with. Blackie replied seriously. "Then tell me, if I make the fellow in the urinal become a ghost cultivator, will it be willing?" Yang Wu asked again. Before Yang Wu went into closed-door cultivation, Little Hay had told him about the ghost cultivators. She had also reminded the soul in the urinal to cultivate the ghost cultivation technique so that the soul could become a ghost cultivator and come back from the dead. It would become a powerful helper for him. Is it still up to him to decide whether he wants to or not? Little Hay asked. "That's true, but we have to think of a way. Once it succeeds, what if it can't be controlled in the future? That will depend on how far you cultivate the Soul Mastery Heart Sutra. It is one of the nemeses of ghost cultivators. If you use it well, it won't be able to go against your will. All right, then let's wake it up and ask. Yang Wu woke the ghost in the urinal. The ghost's condition was clearly much better. It said excitedly, "Did I devour another soul?" "You've devoured Hejun's soul." "Do you know what that means?" Yang Wu asked. "It means that my soul is large. It means that I can escape in the future. Little friend, I beg you, let me devour more souls. If you let me out in the future, I will definitely repay you. If you want a battle technique, I have more here." The ghost said impatiently. "Very good. It seems that it is willing to do anything in order to be resurrected." Yang Wu praised in his heart. He then said, "In your current condition, it will be very difficult for you to be resurrected. Even if your soul recovers to its peak, you might not be able to reform your body. You also won't be able to take revenge, so why struggle? No, as long as my soul recovers, I will definitely find a way. There will definitely be a way. I'm a saint." The ghost could not accept Yang Wu's provocation and replied excitedly, "That will be a long time in the future." Yang Wu further provoked the ghost. The ghost was very sad and depressed. It asked, "What do you want to say?" "I want to say that I can give you a chance to reform your body and help you return to your peak. Do you want to do it?" Yang Wu said, "I don't believe you. You don't even have a heavenly skill. How can you help me reform my body? If you don't believe me, then forget it. I'm not begging you now. Continue to stay in the urinal." No, I believe you. I believe you." The ghost had been suppressed for many years. It wanted to escape. It wanted to reform its body. Even if there was only a 1 in a million chance, it was willing to try. "That's right. I have an immortal art here that I can teach you. However, you have to swear that after you cultivate it, you will be loyal to me. Otherwise, I will not teach it to you." Yang Wu emphasized, Okay. I swear that I, Lei Zhongjuan, am willing to be loyal to you. Otherwise, I will be struck to death by 5 bolts of lightning." The ghost hurriedly replied, "It doesn't sound very sincere, but I'm still willing to give you a chance." Yang Wu replied and reminded the ghost, "Pay attention and accept it." In the next moment, Yang Wu opened his soul eye, and a ray of energy flew towards the ghost in the urinal. The ghost conveniently accepted this strand of energy. After it received the ghost cultivation art, it was abnormally excited. It could feel that this art might really be able to help it reform its physical body. However, in the early stages, it needed to have enough souls to devour. If it continued to devour other souls before it obtained the ghost cultivation art, the consequences would be very serious. It would cause its soul power to become extremely impure. It could even cause its soul to collapse and die because of the soul's rejection. This ghost cultivation art could purify the impure memories of all kinds of souls. It could condense the purest soul power and gradually strengthen its soul power. Finally, through other mediums, it could help it reform its body. However, it found that this ghost cultivation art was not complete. It might only be 1/3 of it. It anxiously asked Yang Wu, "This art is not complete." "Yes, it is not complete." Yang Wu replied, "Why don't you teach it to me? Your soul power is currently too weak. When you become stronger, I will teach it to you again. Don't worry." Chapter 470. Yang Wu was not stupid enough to teach Lei Zhongjuan the ghost cultivation art all at once. Once Lei Zhongjuan succeeded in cultivating it, it would not be good for him to lose control of it. Right now, he was keeping Lei Zhongjuan in suspense. Once Lei Zhongjuan experienced the effects of the ghost cultivation art, he believed that Lei Zhongjuan would be loyal to him. If Lei Zhongjuan was unwilling to submit, he had plenty of ways to punish it. The reason why Yang Wu wanted to raise Lei Zhongjuan was because he hoped to have a strong helper in the future, just like how Meng Bingxue could appear at any time to help him. After all, the enemies he had provoked were too strong, and his foundation was too weak right now, so he had to be fully prepared. After Yang Wu finished doing all this, he put away the urinal and then asked Little Hay, "Little Hay, can you teach me a few more immortal arts? I will repay you in the future." "Woof, woof. Do you think immortal arts are cabbages that can be casually taught?" Little Hay said unhappily. "Of course I know that I can't casually teach them, but I still want to ask for your help. I want my parents to become stronger. Only then can I feel at ease going to the transcendent realm in the future." Yang Wu begged Little Hay for the first time. Little Hay narrowed her eyes and said, "It's not impossible to teach them, but you have to agree to one condition of this immortal emperor." "What condition?" "As long as I can fulfill it, I will agree to it." Yang Wu said solemnly. "Very good. From today onwards, you have to admit that you are this immortal emperor's human pet." "Little Hay, don't mess around. You are my spiritual pet." "Who's messing around with you?" "I'm serious. If you don't agree, I won't teach you the immortal arts." "Little Black, you're ruthless. For my father and my mother, I'm willing to be your human pet." Yang Wu gritted his teeth and replied. His parents were his most important family. For them, he would do anything. So what if he became a human pet? Little Hay laughed and said, Not bad. You are a filial son. This immortal emperor was just joking with you. I have already prepared the immortal art for you." After saying this, a light appeared between its eyebrows and quickly shot towards Yang Wu's forehead. Yang Wu's God's Court Dao flower quickly received the two immortal arts. The two immortal arts that Little Hay taught Yang Wu were the Battle Blood immortal art and the Immortal Planting immortal art. These two immortal arts were both high-level immortal arts and were extremely rare. The former required a strong battle blood as a foundation to cultivate. Once successfully cultivated, one could activate the battle blood and become a terrifying battle immortal. The latter was to absorb the essence of various plants and plant an immortal root in one's body. It would slowly condense into an immortal seed and become an immortal body. This immortal body focused on one's health and required one to be at peace. Little Hay's two immortal arts were very targeted. Yang Jinan had already awakened his bloodline power. As long as he cultivated the Battle Blood immortal art, he would be able to fully activate his bloodline power. His cultivation speed would increase, and his battle prowess would become even more powerful. Su Rome was a woman. As long as she cultivated slowly, she would also be able to reach great heights. After Yang Wu received the two immortal arts, he said to Little Hay in an extremely serious manner, "Little Hay, I will remember your kindness. When I reach great heights in the future, I will not forget you." "This immortal emperor is satisfied with your words," Little Hay replied. "I will definitely find you 10 beautiful little bitches to serve you." "Little Wu, do you want to die?" "What, do you like male dogs?" "I didn't expect you to be such a Little Hay." "Woof, woof, I will bite you to death." Yang Wu finally got rid of Little Hay with great difficulty. He rubbed his aching buttocks and found his mother, Su Rome. Su Rome's days were very fulfilling. Every day, she would wake up early to help her husband change clothes and attend morning court. During the day, she would meditate and cultivate. At other times, she would supervise the construction work in the courtyard. At night, she would wait for her husband to return. At other times, she would go to see if her son had come out of seclusion. The only thing that made her feel regretful was that her youngest son had not returned. When Su Rome saw Yang Wu, she said, "Wooer, now that everything is peaceful, shouldn't you consider your marriage?" As a mother, she was most concerned about her son's marriage. "Mother, your son is still young. There is no need to be so anxious." Yang Wu replied with embarrassment. "He is still young. You are already a prince. How can you not marry and have children?" 2 days ago, Lan Xin came again. When she didn't see you, she left in disappointment. Do you like her or not? If you do, marrying that child is not bad. However, I feel that Her Majesty the Empress will not be happy. However, I am afraid that after marrying her, I won't know how to serve her." Su Rome said. Yang Wu rubbed his forehead and said, "Mother, you don't have to worry about this matter. Before little brother returns, I will not think about this matter for now." He then changed the topic and said, "Mother, I will pass on a cultivation method to you. It can help you live forever." "How can there be immortality in this world? Mother is not senile yet." "Mother, were you old? If I go out with you, people will definitely think that you're my older sister. This cultivation method is very powerful. I will pass it on to you first. You could try to cultivate it. Your son would not lie to you." All right. Son has grown up and has the ability. Mother will listen to you." Yang Wu passed the immortal cultivation method to his mother. After Su Rome received this immortal cultivation method, She needed some time to slowly digest it. He quietly left the room and sent someone to call his father back. During this period of time, Yang Jinan had been busy almost every day. Not only did he have to complete the defense of the city, but he also had to make time to cultivate the new blood of the Imperial Guards. For this reason, he had even taken some medicinal liquid from Yang Wu that could cleanse the marrow and strengthen the body as a means to motivate the soldiers to become stronger. The effect of this was undoubtedly very effective. Many of the soldiers were desperately cultivating to obtain more resources. Who in the Imperial Guards did not know that their commander's son was a heavenly alchemist? Other than the medicine that could cleanse the marrow, he also had pills that could increase one's strength. Because of this effect, everyone obeyed Yang Jinan's orders. After Yang Jinan returned, he heard that his son wanted to pass on a cultivation method to him. He did not even consider it before agreeing. He trusted his son completely and did not have any suspicions. With a son like this, he no longer had any regrets. Yang Wu successfully passed the war blood immortal arts to his father. His father also needed time to digest it. After doing all of this, Yang Wu was completely at ease. He muttered in his heart, "Even if anything happens to me in the future, I don't need to worry about my parents." Yang Wu was prepared to die in the future. Only in this way would he be able to go all out and become even stronger and meet even stronger challenges. Yang Wu left his home and went straight to the Imperial Palace to see the Empress Tang Xiaoan. Yang Wu was able to enter the Imperial Palace unimpeded. He once again came to the courtyard where Tang Xiaoan used to live. She did not move out of the princess courtyard, as she preferred to stay here. During this period of time, she had been cultivating non-stop. Once she stopped, she would think of the gap between her and Yang Wu. The gap would only grow larger and larger, causing them to be unable to be together in the future. Now, she had broken through to the Earthsea realm, but she still felt that it was not enough. Yang Wu was able to kill a heavenly fish realm expert, and it would be easy for him to reach the heavenly fish realm in the future. If she did not work hard, Yang Wu would be further and further away from her. She really did not want that day to come. When she saw Yang Wu again, her face was filled with joy, like a noble peony blooming, illuminating the entire courtyard. She softly said, "You're here." Yang Wu could not help but be stunned. He blurted out in praise, "Your Majesty, you're so beautiful." Even though he was already very familiar with Tang Xiaoan and had seen her many times, this time he was truly stunned. She did not wear a single trace of makeup, and her delicate face was flawless. Her skin was so delicate that anyone would have the urge to pinch it. She was dressed in a purple and gold robe that outlined her perfect figure. She was curvaceous in all the right places and thin in all the right places. She was truly irresistible. Her autumn eyes were suffused with traces of blue waves, directly intimidating one's heart. After not seeing her for a period of time, Yang Wu felt that she had grown up quite a bit. Moreover, her royal temperament was even more extraordinary, which was why he was so captivated. Tang Xiaoan's heart was filled with incomparable sweetness. She came in front of Yang Wu and asked with her charming eyes, "Am I really that beautiful?" "Of course, Your Majesty is the #1 beauty in our Grand Xia," Yang Wu said sincerely. "Then will you marry me?" Tang Xiaoan blinked her large eyes and asked. Yang Wu was instantly choked and did not know how to answer. Did he want to marry her? Could he marry her? He was no longer a virgin. That night, he was forcefully pushed down by Meng Bingxue. Meng Bingxue was already considered his first woman in name. In his heart, there was another person who occupied an important position. Could he accept Tang Xiaoan? In this moment of hesitation, Tang Xiaoan said sadly, "What a hypocrite." Yang Wu smiled bitterly and said, "Your Majesty, I've already explained my matters to you clearly. You don't have to wrong yourself like this. Other than you, I'm afraid I won't take a fancy to any other man." Tang Xiaoan spoke directly from her heart. She paused for a moment and then said, "Brother Wu, if she doesn't want you in the future, can you give me a chance?" She was naturally referring to the hurt in Yang Wu's heart. Tang Xiaoan already knew the purpose of the Purple Firmament Palace's appearance. It was to sever the relationship between Yang Wu and Ziyu Yu. It was hard to say what would happen between Yang Wu and Ziyu in the future. That was why she made such a request. Yang Wu took a deep breath and said, "All right, if it's really impossible between me and her, I'll marry you." Tang Xiaoan had already said this. If he still refused, it would break her heart. Tang Xiaoan smiled. She smiled very happily. This was definitely the first time she smiled so brightly after her father's death. Yang Wu looked at her smile and felt pity and shame in his heart. Thus, on this day, he brought her to the city to play. She was like a happy skylark, holding his arm and chattering nonstop, laughing nonstop. Her heart was incomparably satisfied. She wished so much that she could walk down this path with him. She could even give up the throne. Unfortunately, he would have to leave in the end. Chapter 471. Yang Wu accompanied Tang Xiaoan for a day, and on the second day, they went to the original Medicine King's Hall's territory, which had already become the Wuhou Association's territory. Wuhou Association had bought a piece of land from the imperial court through repurchasing, and because too many people had died on this piece of land, the imperial court had sold it to Wuhou Association at a low price on account of Yang Wu's meritorious service. The imperial court had a few requirements for Wuhou Association. First, Wuhou Association must not go against the imperial court's laws. Second, Wuhou Association must not have more than 3,000 members to prevent them from becoming too powerful and affecting the imperial court. Third, Wuhou Association must lend a hand when the imperial court needed it. Through these requirements and restrictions, it prevented Wuhou Association from becoming the second Medicine King's Hall. Yang Wu did not mind. His original intention of establishing Wuhou Association was to nurture some outstanding talents, to protect the loved ones he wanted to protect. How it would develop in the future would depend on how Shou Ho and Lu Ji handled it, and he did not have time to care about it for now. At this time, Wuhou Association was in the midst of large-scale construction, building courtyards and pavilions, forming a gang's atmosphere. Many people thought that the original layout of the Medicine King's Hall was not bad, as it was built with reference to feng shui, but Lu Ji did not agree. His array skills had already reached a higher level, and the layout he designed was even more distinct, implying the gathering of qi. Initially, when he had taken out this design, Yang Wu had shown it to Little He, and Little He had praised Lu Ji's talent in this area, and Little He had personally pointed out some flaws, which were then corrected by Lu Ji. Lu Ji had praised Yang Wu's array skills, but in reality, he did not know that this was the work of Little He, and after he had modified the areas that were lacking, he reconstructed the courtyards and pavilions according to the design. At this time, Yang Wu had arrived, and Lu Ji was holding the design in his hands, pondering over it. After not seeing him for a few days, he had become much more tanned, more manly, and less feminine. "Beautiful advisor, it's been hard on you," Yang Wu said to Lu Ji, somewhat touched. After Lu Ji saw Yang Wu, he hurriedly ran over and shouted, "Lord, quickly come and see. My strength has increased again." Yang Wu was stunned, and then carefully observed Lu Ji's qi, and discovered that Lu Ji's realm had increased by a lot, reaching the realm of a top warrior. Yang Wu was instantly dealt a huge blow. He said, "You're looking for a beating, aren't you?" Which martial artist would not be happy when their strength increased? Looking at Lu Ji's appearance, he seemed to be very distressed. Yang Wu felt that Lu Ji was taking advantage of the situation and was showing off. "My lord, didn't you say it's broken hazes in just a short 2 months? I went from a weak scholar to a true warrior. This is too exaggerated," Lu Ji said gloomily. Yang Wu said in a bad mood, "Come on, your breakthrough should be within reason. Nothing will happen. It only shows that your talent is outstanding. So that's how it is. I knew it must be because I was born a cultivation genius. Where can you find a genius like me who can be both civil and martial?" Lu Ji was in a good mood after hearing Yang Wu's praise. Yang Wu really wanted to give him a few slaps. He was simply too cocky. He cursed in his heart. Can you be so narcissistic just because you have a bit of talent? This duke isn't bad either. Oof. At this time, Shou Ho came out of nowhere and said excitedly, "Big brother, you're here. I've successfully broken through to the Earthsea realm. Yang Wu couldn't stand it anymore and said to Shouho, "Let's have a spar." Shouho said, quite belligerently, Okay, please give me pointers." Shouho was like a newborn calf that wasn't afraid of Tiger as he competed with Yang Wu. In the end, Shouho suffered tragedy. He was kicked in the butt by Yang Wu and fell from the sky. His nose was bruised and his face was swollen. He said without the slightest bit of temper, "Big brother, don't hit me. I admit defeat. Shouho had just broken through to the Earth-Sea realm not long ago, and now he had broken through to the Earth-Sea realm. He was full of confidence, thinking that he could easily exchange a few hundred blows with Yang Wu. Now he discovered that he was too naive. His big brother was a freak. "Lu Ji, I'll suppress my cultivation to the martial soldier realm and spar with you," Yang Wu said to Lu Ji after flying down. Lu Ji shrunk his neck and replied, "My lord, I'm a scholar. It's not suitable for me to use force. I think we should just forget about it." "No, your cultivation is rising too quickly. You need to temper yourself to strengthen your foundation. Come, my lord, you can't bully people like this. Are you sure you want to suppress your cultivation to the martial soldier realm to fight with me?" "Actually, it's fine even if I don't use my cultivation." Okay, I'll let you experience the power of my yin-yang immortal cannon." Soon, Lu Ji's fate was similar to Shouho's. He was beaten until tears and snot flowed out. Lu Ji cried, "My lord, you mistreated your advisor. This is immoral behavior. I want to reprimand you. You really are a woman. What are you crying for? My lord gave you a few pointers for your own good. If others want my pointers, I'm too lazy to care." Yang Wu said with a smug smile. He paused for a moment and said, "Your foundation is slowly becoming solid. Do you feel anything wrong?" Lu Ji said seriously, "My lord, other than my strength rising too quickly, I haven't found anything wrong." Yang Wu said, "Since that's the case, I'll teach you a way to suppress your cultivation and slow it down a bit." "Don't, my lord, I think this is pretty good." Lu Ji hurriedly shook his head. Yang Wu said seriously, "If you put your strength into the study of formations, I think you'll definitely be able to find another way and achieve even more extraordinary results." These words were not thought of by Yang Wu, but by little He on Yang Wu's shoulder. Lu Ji was a genius of formations. He should put his talents and wisdom into formations. Only then would he be able to display his greatest strength. "Yes, my lord, I will do as you say," Lu Ji said in a low voice. Yang Wu brought Shouho and Lu Ji to walk around the place. He told them to speed up their work and try to finish the construction as soon as possible. After that, Yang Wu brought the two of them to the auction house. This auction house was still a property left behind by the Medicine King Hall. It already belonged to the Martial Marquis gang. Huang Changjian was managing the affairs here. They would hold another auction 7 days later. After Yang Wu finished his inspection, he returned home and summoned Gung Jian. "Your Highness, how should we deal with the alchemists in the Medicine King Hall?" Gung Jian asked Yang Wu. Ever since the Medicine King Hall was destroyed, the alchemists there were all under control. These people should have been dealt with by the Imperial Court. However, the Imperial Court had many problems, and their power was not enough to deter the alchemists. They were handed over to Yang Jinan to deal with. In reality, they were handed over to Yang Wu. Yang Wu was the most intimidating to the alchemists. According to Yang Jinan's intentions, he would not hesitate to kill these alchemists. These alchemists belonged to the Medicine King Hall. They had long been mixed with the Medicine King Hall's interests. Keeping them alive was just raising a tiger. Yang Wu wanted to keep them alive. They naturally had a great use. This time, Yang Wu was not doing this for himself. He was doing this for the Imperial Court. He planned to leave a few useful alchemists for the Imperial Court to increase the strength of the Medicine King Hall. "I am handing them over to you so that you can come up with a plan to deal with them. Tell me your suggestion first." Yang Wu asked back. Gung Jian laughed dryly and said, "Your Highness, then I will speak frankly." After a pause, he said, "Even though they belong to the Medicine King Hall, there is still a portion of them who are innocent. They were all forced to join the Medicine King Hall. They have already repented and are willing to serve your Highness. Who are those people? Have you chosen them?" I have chosen them. The list is here. All right, since you chose them, I will believe you. Hand them over to the imperial court. The imperial court will put them in an important position. If they dare to go against the imperial court, I will find trouble with you. Your Highness, shouldn't we keep these people for ourselves? What are we keeping them for? What can they do with their little alchemy talent? Actually, I found a good seedling. Unfortunately, he is one of the Medicine King Hall's disciples. If he is willing to follow you, you can take him as a disciple. However, you must be clear about his character. If he is an ungrateful wretch, you will be in big trouble. Yang Wu had already seen Gung Jin's love for talent. He was also willing to help him. He was not afraid of a Medicine King Hall's disciple causing any trouble. Good. Many thanks to your Highness. I will definitely teach him well, Gung Jin said with incomparable excitement. After Yang Wu finished dealing with these trivial matters, he found time to meet with Wan Lanxin. Wan Lanxin's cultivation level had also increased. She had reached the intermediate Earth-Sea realm. She did not take the Earth King pill. Instead, she used the mysterious water pearl that Yang Wu gave her to cultivate diligently every day. This was why she was able to break through in such a short period of time. Wan Lanxin was dressed in battle armor. There was no doubt that she was not inferior to men. Her pair of slender and smooth thighs straddled the spirit leopard. No one could take their eyes off her. She was not as beautiful as Tang Xiaohan, but she had her own unique charm. When Yang Wu found Wan Lanxin, he found that the beggar clan's chief, Su Shan, was actually pestering her. He frowned in dissatisfaction. Lan Xian, can you not keep me at arm's length? I Su Shaner am so handsome. Furthermore, I have helped you capture a few criminals. Can't you just have a meal with me? I really like you. As long as you agree to have a meal with me, I can give you a spirit treasure that you cannot even imagine. Su Shan said shamelessly, ignoring the group of Imperial Guards beside Wan Lanxin. If the Imperial Guard were strong enough, they would definitely not mind beating Su Shan up. However, their strength was too far apart. Even their deputy commander was not a match for Su Shan. They had no choice but to endure Su Shan pestering their deputy commander. Su Shan, what good spirit treasure do you have? Take it out and let me see. Yang Wu walked over and said to Su Shan. Chapter 472. Su Shan's background was not simple. He had once said that he wanted to bring Yang Wu to the Transcendent Realm. This proved that he was related to the Transcendent Realm. Yang Wu rejected Su Shan's good intentions. However, he did not expect Su Shan to pester Wan Lanxin. This made him feel uncomfortable. Su Shan did not do anything out of line. He was just expressing his love to Wan Lanxin normally. Wan Lanxin was so beautiful. There were countless people who pursued her. Many of them did not have the courage to pursue her because they were not strong enough. Su Shan had the strength to pursue her. What reason did Yang Wu have to stop him? When Su Shan saw Yang Wu, he laughed and said, "Ha, your Highness came at the right time. Please say a few good words for me. I am currently pursuing Lanxin. She is the most charming girl I have ever seen." When Yang Wu heard this, he felt a faint pain in his heart. He replied without hesitation, "She is my elder sister. You are not worthy of her. Leave." When Wan Lanxin heard Yang Wu's words, she felt uncomfortable. She could not help but say, "Who is your elder sister? Don't think that just because you are a prince, you can claim any relationship." She then looked at Su Shan and said, "Su Shan, it is not impossible for you to pursue me. As long as you can defeat him, I will be your woman." During this period of time, Wan Lanxin had been suppressing a bellyful of anger. In the past, her relationship with Yang Wu was so good. However, when Yang Wu came out of seclusion, the first thing he did was not to look for her. Instead, he went to look for the Empress. If it was for official business, it would be fine. However, he actually went shopping with the Empress. When she saw this, she felt extremely uncomfortable. She felt that Yang Wu's feelings for her had changed. Perhaps he had fallen in love with the Empress. That was why she could not help but say such words. When Su Shan heard Wan Lanxin's words, he was stunned for a moment. Then, He revealed a happy expression and said, Wan Lanxin, your request is not low. However, I have decided to give it a try. Then he challenged Yang Wu. Your Highness, you came just in time. Let's fight. After saying that, he leaped off the donkey and arrived in front of Yang Wu in an instant. Then, he kicked at Yang Wu's chest. Su Shan attacked as soon as he said he would. Furthermore, his attack was so fast that even a high-level Earth-Sea Realm King couldn't react in time. Yang Wu raised his hand to block Su Shan attack. Immediately, he felt a strong force coming from his palm. He exclaimed in his heart, this guy's combat strength is not weak. Without waiting for Yang Wu to react, Su Shan aura became extremely terrifying. A wave of attacks rained down on Yang Wu. Chaotic Flower Fist. This was a very strange fist technique. Its fighting style was not restricted to a single pattern. It could be said that it was a random attack. However, the attacks were extremely sharp, making it difficult for people to defend against. Yang Wu didn't expect Su Shan's attack to be so fierce. It was at least comparable to a peak Earth-Sea Realm King. If his reaction was any slower, he would have been beaten black and blue. He shouted, if you don't stop, I will fight back. Heck, can you still fight back? Su Shan laughed confidently. The speed and strength of his attacks instantly increased by more than one-fold. Bang bang. Numerous fist shadows rained down on Yang Wu. Yang Wu blocked these attacks with his palms. However, he didn't expect Su Shan's to suddenly use his leg. Su Shan's knee collided with his lower abdomen, causing him to be at a disadvantage. Even though this collision didn't cause any damage to Yang Wu, he could still feel Su Shan's strength seeping into his body. If it wasn't for his strong physical body, he might have suffered internal injuries from this collision. Wan Lanxin looked at this scene and couldn't help but feel nervous. She only said those words out of anger. Now that she saw how powerful Su Shan was and how Yang Wu was at a disadvantage, her heart was filled with regret. She wanted to shout for them to stop, but she swallowed her words back. She was clear about Yang Wu's battle prowess. If she stopped them now, Yang Wu and Su Shan wouldn't listen to her. She sighed in her heart and said, I hope he can win. A woman's heart was like a needle at the bottom of the sea. No one could understand it. Yang Wu was infuriated. He channeled the energy in his dantian and condensed a powerful battle armor. He also took the opportunity to throw out a punch. This punch was precisely aimed at Su Shan's weak point, interrupting his opponent's attacking rhythm and forcing Su Shan to retreat. You want to fight? Sure, follow me. Yang Wu looked coldly at Su Shan and shouted. Immediately after, he soared into the sky and flew towards the outside of the city. This was the king's city. It wasn't suitable for battle. He wanted to fight with Su Shan outside the city. He had to fight this battle. If he didn't, he would feel uncomfortable. He always felt that something important would leave him. Good. I also want to experience the skills of your highness. Su Shan replied excitedly. He then turned to Wan Lanxin and said, Lanxin, wait for me. I will defeat him and come back. As he finished, he kicked his body lightly. Like a rock spreading its wings, he chased after Yang Wu. Just as Su Shan left, Wan Lanxin hesitated and said to her subordinates, Continue your patrol. Don't wait for me. Immediately after, she urged her spiritual leopard to rush out of the city. In the wilderness outside the city, Yang Wu stood with his hands behind his back, waiting for Su Shan's arrival. His eyes were filled with worry. He wasn't worried about Su Shan's attack. He was worried about Wan Lanxin and how he should make a decision. Your Highness is fast. Su Shan appeared in front of Yang Wu and said, Su Shan, I don't know where you came from, but now you can go back. Yang Wu looked straight at Su Shan and said solemnly, Yang Wu, although you don't want to accept my invitation, you don't have the right to chase me away. Su Shan said seriously. He paused for a moment and continued, I plan to bring Lan Xin to the Transcendent Realm. She is quite talented. As long as she is willing to follow me, I will make sure that she won't be inferior to any other heavens chosen. So, you should admit defeat. She's my woman. Yang Wu pointed at his own heart and said sonorously. Wan Lanxin, who had just arrived not far away, heard this. She was stunned at first, and then her face was full of joy. She couldn't hold back her tears and murmured, "You finally admit me. You finally admit me." They were childhood sweethearts who grew up together. He was a stubborn child. She was a smart and experienced big sister. Back then, she took care of him. He said that he would protect her when they grew up. But his vow had already come true. It was just that whether they could be together was still an unknown. Although Yang Wu acknowledged her as his woman, would Su Shaner agree? Hee, I don't see how Lan Xian likes you. Furthermore, she said that as long as I beat you, she would be willing to follow me. You have already missed your chance. Su Shaner sneered. No, I was just joking with you. I like martial arts. Wan Lanxin shouted without hesitation. You can't take back your words so easily. Watch how I take care of him. Su Shaner replied and attacked Yang Wu again. Su Shaner's battle prowess had reached the pinnacle of the Earth-Sea realm. This was his true strength. A ball of pale yellow energy surrounded his body as he unleashed his chaotic flower fists once again. Every punch was like a falling meteor, and its power was incomparably overbearing. Yang Wu's eyes narrowed. He mumbled, so he's been hiding his strength all this time. What a strong opponent. He always thought that Su Shan was at the high level of the Earth-Sea realm. Now that he was no longer hiding his strength, he could not afford to be careless. Dragon Flame Fist. Yang Wu had been meditating on the Dragon Flame Fist for a while now. Today, he could finally put it to good use. The moment he attacked, his fist seemed to transform into a dragon's head. It roared and condensed a dense blue flame into the shape of a dragon, displaying an unparalleled strength. This was an extremely powerful fist technique. With the support of Lan Yaoji, the fist technique easily reached the proficient level. During his meditation, the Dragon Flame Fist had already reached the large success level. Only through actual combat would he know if it was the same as his meditation. Pung pung. Su Shaner's fist was fast and fierce. Yang Wu's fist was simple and violent. When the two fists collided, two different types of profound qi splashed in all directions. In the initial exchange, Yang Wu and Su Shaner were evenly matched. This time, Yang Wu was shocked. His battle prowess was comparable to the heavenly fish realm. Even if he did not use his full strength, it was not something a normal Peak King could withstand. However, Su Shaner was able to fight him head-on. He had to re-evaluate Su Shaner. Yang Wu increased his strength once again. His fists danced in the air as if there were 5 or 6 blue flame dragons surrounding Su Shaner. Su Shaner cursed in his heart. Damn, this kid is so abnormal. No wonder he could make the people from Purple Cloud Palace and Mount May fight back. It seems like I can't defeat him without using my trump card. While Su Shaner was receiving Yang Wu's Dragon Flame Fist at full speed, he increased his strength again and again. The speed of his punches became faster and faster. Every punch had an earth-shattering power, and fist intent was condensed within. Those who could perfect their fist techniques and condense their intent were all martial arts geniuses. Su Shaner came from the transcendent realm and was undoubtedly one of the martial arts geniuses. Among his peers, he rarely suffered losses. Yang Wu was a few years younger than him. To be able to force him into such a situation, he had to admit that Yang Wu was a top martial arts genius. Fist intent, I know it too. Yang Wu replied as he infused his fist intent into the Dragon Flame Fist. The dragon-shaped flame seemed to have come alive. It was like a real dragon roaring and attacking continuously. Its strength was overbearing to the extreme. Su Shaner's fist intent was shattered by Yang Wu's destructive strength. He took a few punches on his body, and his battle armor was shattered. Fortunately, he retreated quickly. Otherwise, he would have been burned by the threatening blue flame, and that would have been bad luck. I don't care who dares to touch my woman. They will have to pay the price. Yang Wu took the opportunity to chase after Su Shaner. With a roar, he increased the power of his Dragon Flame Fist and smashed Su Shaner down onto the mountain. Bang! Chapter 473. A cloud of dust filled the air as gravel flew everywhere. Yang Wu did not hold back much of his strength in this punch. Even an ordinary heavenly fish realm expert would be injured by it. Yang Wu did not show any signs of happiness. Instead, he looked down from the sky. He felt that Su Shan would not be defeated so easily. As expected, Su Shan flew up again with a yellow rod in his hand. He looked at Yang Wu and said faintly, "Yang Wu, you are really strong. It is your loss not to follow me to the transcendent realm. It is your greatest loss to be my enemy." After he finished speaking, he flashed his yellow wings and rushed towards Yang Wu. The rod in his hand congealed into a dense rod shadow that enveloped Yang Wu. These rod shadows transformed into a force that was hundreds of feet long. As the rod shadows descended, the skies seemed to be split in half. If it were to land on a person, that person would be smashed into meat paste. Yang Wu realized that Su Shan-er's strength was comparable to an ordinary heavenly fish realm expert. However, it was still not enough to pose a threat to him. He dodged sideways and wanted to counterattack. However, Su Shan-er's reaction was fast. A series of dazzling rod shadows swept towards him. Yang Wu could not avoid it. He could only continuously strike out with his fist radiance to shatter the rod shadows. Su Shan-er became more and more energetic as he struck. He shouted, "Yang Wu, I will let you have a taste of the beggar sex dog beating rod skill." Swoosh! Swoosh! Su Shan-er's rod skill changed rapidly. The extremely tricky rod shadows came from all directions towards Yang Wu. It was as if he was chasing a dog and did not show any mercy. When Yang Wu heard the name of this rod skill, his face turned black. Dog beating rod skill, this was scolding him. All right, even if it was not scolding him, it was still scolding little Hay. He could not take it anymore. Su Shan-er, you are courting death. Yang Wu was enraged. He roared. His strength rose little by little. The dragon flame fist crazily waved, like a fire dragon soaring into the sky. The raging flames burned half of the sky. Su Shan-er's staff arts were very powerful and hard to defend against. However, under Yang Wu's full power, these attacks were all in vain. They were all crushed by the blue fire dragon, and all the staff shadows were shattered. Only then did Su Shan-er realize that he was not fighting a dog, but a dragon. Su Shan-er was sent flying once again. Fresh blood spurted out from his mouth, and some of his hair was burnt. He looked extremely pathetic. Yang Wu continued his pursuit, forcing Su Shan-er to retreat again and again. Yang Wu, you've successfully infuriated me. Su Shan-er shouted and no longer held back his trump card. He activated the potential talent of his spleen and underwent a huge transformation. Stone Man. In an instant, Su Shan-er's body was covered with a thick layer of earth and rocks, turning him into a stone man. It looked extremely strange. When Yang Wu's dragon flame fist came for him again, Su Shan-er waved his stone fist to block it. Bang bang. The two fists collided, and the sky trembled as Xian-Qi splashed in all directions. This time, Yang Wu could not do anything to Su Shan-er. Instead, he was hurt by Su Shan-er's fist strength. This was the potential talent of Su Shan-er's spleen. The spleen was of the earth element, which was the same as the Xian-Qi that Su Shan-er cultivated. Furthermore, this talent had been awakened for a period of time, and combined with his own combat skills, the power he could unleash was not to be underestimated. Everyone had a potential talent, but there might not even be 1 out of 10,000 people who could awaken their own talent. The potential talent of the 5 organs was one of the hardest talents to awaken. Su Shan-er had awakened the spleen talent, which showed that he was born extraordinary. Come on, have a taste of my stone man's power. Su Shan shouted confidently. He chased after Yang Wu, and every punch he threw was like a mountain crashing down. It was extremely overbearing. Yang Wu exchanged a few punches with Su Shan-er and was forced to retreat. His fists started to bleed. His body was already extremely strong and could even withstand the heavens' thunder. However, he was injured by Su Shan-er, which showed how strong Su Shan-er's stone man was. Yang Wu was still calm as he continued to fight. He activated his soul and body as one technique, and the dragon flame fist became smoother and smoother. Many fire dragons kept appearing, and the raging fire burned Yang Wu's entire body. If he could not beat Yang Wu down quickly, he would be burned to death by the blue fire. Blue Demonis was Yang Wu's heart talent. Its firepower was shocking, and when it was attached to his combat skills, it could definitely unleash its powerful firepower. However, this potential talent was exhausting the energy of the organs. Prolonged battles would cause a huge burden on the organs, which was not good for the body. Yang Wu's heart fire had absorbed a lot of thunder fire, which was why it was able to possess such powerful firepower. It was also why he could last for so long. I can't drag this on any longer. I have to decide the winner. Su Shan was even more anxious than Yang Wu. His stone man's strength could only last for half a minute. If he could not defeat Yang Wu quickly, he would be the one to lose. Meteorite falling from the sky. Su Shan used a ruthless move. He punched out continuously with both his fists, and the earth's Xian Qi was condensed around him. Within a radius of 100 feet, the impact of the meteorite was formed. It was so powerful that it could destroy mountains and rivers. Wan Lanxin watched this move from afar, and her heart almost jumped to her throat. As her cultivation level increased, her senses became stronger as well. The strength that Su Shan could unleash now was beyond her imagination. It was comparable to the strength of a heavenly fish. At the same time, Yang Wu had finally trained his dragon flaming fist to the greater success stage. He extracted more than half of the firepower from his heart and gathered it on his fists. His entire body turned into a fire dragon as he charged towards Su Shan's meteorite force. Rumble, rumble. The two martial Dao Heaven's prides used their own moves, and the battle shook the sky. The Xian Qi was rolling, and it was a stunning scene. After a series of collisions, Yang Wu and Su Shan were both bounced back. Yang Wu's body had a few more fist prints, and blood was flowing out from the corner of his mouth. It seemed like he had suffered a loss from Su Shan. Su Shan was in an even worse state than Yang Wu. Other than being punched by Yang Wu more than 10 times, even the rocks on his body were burning. The stone man was disintegrating rapidly, and the clothes on his body were burning. He was so frightened that he quickly took off all his clothes, revealing his naked body. He looked like an exposed maniac, and it was very comical. Fortunately, Wan Lanxin's eyes were on Yang Wu, or else she would have been blinded by his dazzling appearance. Su Shan, your brother seems to be a little small. Yang Wu was shameless enough as he stared at Su Shan's lower body and mocked him. Su Shan's face turned red. A robe appeared in his hand, and he quickly covered his body with it. He said angrily, "Yang Wu, you win. The next time we meet, I will not be so polite to you." Immediately after, he left the place dejectedly and did not say goodbye to Wan Lanxin. He was too ashamed to do so. The curtains fell on the battle between the prodigies. Yang Wu's face did not have the slightest bit of joy after winning. His heart was covered with a layer of shadow, and he had a deeper understanding of the prodigies of the transcendent realm. He could fight those above his level, and he had potential. These were all trump cards that he was proud of. However, when he found out that others also had them, he realized that he was a frog at the bottom of a well. Wan Lanxin flew to Yang Wu's side and said with a guilty expression, "Wu, I'm sorry." Yang Wu regained his senses and looked at Wan Lanxin. He then pulled her into his arms and kissed her hard on the lips. At this moment, Wan Lanxin was completely stunned. There was only one thought left in her mind. He kissed me. That's right. Yang Wu had kissed her. This was the emotional outburst that Yang Wu had suppressed for too long. If he did not do something to Wan Lanxin, he felt that he was not a man. She had sincerely given him so much, so how could he remain indifferent? During this period of time, his cultivation had increased by a lot, and his status had also risen. There seemed to be a gap between the two of them, but every day, when she brought the Imperial Guard to patrol, she would pass by the Yang family, and would also stop in front of the house for a while. It seemed like she was talking to the Death Army soldiers, but in reality, she hoped to occasionally see him. Most of the time, He was in closed-door cultivation, and he almost never saw her. However, his subordinates had already reported to him. So how could he let down such a woman? Moreover, he had liked to stay by her side since he was young, and liked to see her act like a big sister, which was very cool. Now, he had the strength, and it was time to fulfill his promise and protect her for the rest of her life. A kiss was a vow of love. Yang Wu kissed Wan Lanxin for a full quarter of an hour. If it wasn't for the spirit birds crying out to disturb them, he would have kissed even longer. When Wan Lanxin was released by Yang Wu, her face was as red as an apple. This vice commander of the Imperial Guards, who was known as the Iron Lady, also had her moments of shyness. "Big sister, follow me from now on. I will treat you well," Yang Wu said with incomparable sincerity. He really could not stand other men chasing after her, so he had to declare his possession of her. You could say that he was selfish, or that he was full of emotions, but he really cared about her. "Then you still call me big sister," Wan Lanxin said as she lightly pounded Yang Wu's chest. Yang Wu smiled and said, "Then I'll call you Exiner. Up to you." Wan Lanxin replied like a little bird. Since that night in the mountain prison, her heart had completely calmed down. "Exiner, remember when we were young, I said that I would protect you for the rest of your life. From now on, I will fulfill my promise. At that time, you were still a little brat, always appearing in front of me. Now that you are a king, it really feels like a dream. The things that have happened in the past year have been more exciting than the things that have happened in the past 10 years. Perhaps the future will not be peaceful, but I will do my best to break through any obstacles. If anyone doesn't want us to have a good time, then I will not let them have a good time. No matter what decision you make, I will follow you. Even if I die, I will have no regrets. Exiner, you really are good. Where are you putting your hand? You really are shameless. It was an accident, but it really is big." Chapter 474. After Yang Wu settled the matter with Wan Lanxin, he was in a very good mood. He held Wan Lanxin's hand and walked in this desolate and uninhabited place. Along the way, he talked about the interesting things that happened when he was young. Wan Lanxin leaned against Yang Wu's side like a little bird. The rosy color on her face didn't disappear for a long time. At this moment, she was undoubtedly the happiest person. When night fell, Yang Wu brought Wan Lanxin back to King City and called her to the residence to eat together. During the meal, Su Rome could clearly see that Yang Wu and Wan Lanxin's relationship had made a big breakthrough. She was very happy in her heart. This daughter-in-law is set. Wan Lanxin wasn't as prominent as Tang Xiaoan, nor was she as beautiful as Tang Xiaoan. However, she had a capable aura and was very straightforward in her work. Her immediate superior, Yang Jinan, was full of praise for her. If she could become his daughter-in-law, it wouldn't be bad. Wan Lanxin felt the love and recognition of Yang Wu's family. Her nervous heart finally relaxed. She thought proudly in her heart, "Little Yu, thank you for leaving." After the meal, Yang Wu sent Wan Lanxin back to the Wan residence. Before arriving at the Wan residence, Yang Wu let go of Wan Lanxin's hand and said, "Exiner, I'll send you here. In the future, I'll personally visit Uncle Wan. Then you can go back." Wan Lanxin softly replied. Then she quickly kissed Yang Wu's face and ran back to the residence. Yang Wu touched his still wet cheeks and murmured, "So fragrant." The next day, before Yang Wu could go to the Wan residence to visit Wan Tianlong, little He couldn't help but urge, "You should look for the next type of mysterious essence qi. There's no need to be in such a hurry, right?" Yang Wu replied, "Aren't you in a hurry? Do you know how much time you've wasted? If you don't hurry up, what qualifications do you have to welcome that girl surnamed Meng and that little lover of yours in the future? Besides, that brat surnamed Liu also needs you to save his life." Little He said resentfully. Yang Wu slightly furrowed his brows and said, "After Liu Ji cultivated the yin-yang immortal canon, his condition should have improved a lot. His life shouldn't be in danger for a short period of time. If he doesn't cultivate the yin-yang immortal scripture, he can live to 30 years old, but after cultivating it, his lifespan will be greatly reduced. Why is this happening? He was born with a yin-yang body, but because of some reasons, his yin qi is heavier than his yang qi. When his strength increases, the imbalance between yin and yang will erupt in advance. At that time, no one will be able to save him. You clearly know that this will happen, so why do you still let him cultivate the yin-yang immortal canon? Aren't you just letting Lu Ji die early? Yang Wu said with great dissatisfaction. He already considered Lu Ji his own brother, so he definitely couldn't bear to see Lu Ji die. Woof, woof, if he doesn't cultivate the yin-yang immortal canon, what will he use to cultivate the Tao of formations in the future? How can he be a good helper for you? Rather than letting him live a mediocre life, it's better to give him more hope. Moreover, you should hurry up and raise your cultivation. The sooner you go to the transcendental realm, the sooner you can find the sacred object, the easier it will be to solve his problem. Little Hay replied firmly. Yang Wu thought about it and said, all right, we'll set off immediately. If he wanted to raise his cultivation, other than cultivating, he also needed to collect profound essence qi to help the Regal Nine profound arts advance. Only then would he be able to break through to a higher realm. Little Hay had once said that he had swallowed 2 types of profound essence qi. At most, he could only reach the peak of the king realm. There was no way for him to reach the heavenly fish realm. This was the flaw of the Regal Nine profound arts, and he had to make up for it in order to become stronger. Yang Wu had always thought that Lu Ji cultivating the yin-yang immortal canon would only benefit him and not harm him. Who would have thought that this would instead shorten his lifespan? He had to find the next type of profound essence qi as soon as possible and use this opportunity to advance to the next level. Then, he would go to the transcendental realm to find higher grade herbs. Only then would he be able to refine the high-grade pills that could solve Lu Ji's problem. After all, the mortal realm was the mortal realm. There was a lack of power here, so it was very difficult to find high-grade herbs. Heavenly medicines were already the limit. It was almost impossible to find herbs that were higher grade than heavenly medicines. Yang Wu left as soon as he said so. He had already passed down many things in the past few days. Moreover, he had nothing to worry about. It was time to look for the profound essence qi. This time, he followed the clues left behind by the Death War Emperor to look for the profound essence qi. The destination of the map was the Wolf Smoke mountain range. He brought the silver-patterned tortoise and the skinny monkey along with him. Now, the soldiers of the Death Legion had all joined the Marshal Marquis group. The Death Legion's military status had been revoked, but their regiment number did not change. They were still called the Death Legion. When they heard that Yang Wu was returning to the Wolf Smoke mountain range, they all wanted to follow Yang Wu. Yang Wu did not want to cause too much of commotion, so he let them stay. He also arranged a holiday for them to go home and see their families. After Yang Wu made this decision, the eyes of the Death Legion's members were wet. Many of them still had family members. They had wanted to go back and see them for a long time, but they did not have the courage. Now that Yang Wu mentioned it, the suppressed emotions in their hearts finally broke out. They missed their families. Although their military status had been revoked because of their relationship with Yang Wu, they had made great contributions in both the border and King City. They had received military medals. This was enough to bring glory to their ancestors. It was enough for them to return home with honor. Yang Wu told Peng Yuan to arrange for them to go on holiday one after another. 300 people would go on holiday each time. They would be divided into 4 or 5 groups. Each group could go home for about a month. If their family members wanted to come to King City to live, Yang Wu's residents would be responsible for settling them down. If they did not want to come, they would be given enough money to live. This would completely solve the Death Legion's worries. Peng Yuan was very satisfied with Yang Wu's arrangement. He left the details to him. After settling these matters, Yang Wu rode on the silver-patterned tortoise and the skinny monkey rode on the fire cloud tiger. They quickly rushed to the Wolf Smoke mountain range. This time, Yang Wu did not waste any time. He urged the silver-patterned tortoise to fly quickly. He wanted to reach the Wolf Smoke mountain range as soon as possible. The silver-patterned tortoise had already reached the peak-level Demon King realm. During this period of time, its cultivation had stagnated. This was because its bloodline power had affected its growth. If it wanted to improve, it had to further strengthen its bloodline power. If it wanted to strengthen its bloodline power, it had to first awaken its bloodline source. This had the best effect, but it was also the most difficult. Second, it had to devour bloodlines of the same origin to replenish its own bloodline power. This required it to find spirit demons of the same origin to devour. The last method was to improve its bloodline power through medicinal pills. Among these three methods, the last one was worth looking forward to. After all, its master was a heavenly alchemist. Its master had already prepared a heavenly pill for it. However, he had not given it to it. It had to perform well. Otherwise, its master would not give it to it. The fire cloud tiger that Shouho was riding was still an elementary demon king. Its bloodline was even worse than the silver patterned tortoises. It would not be easy for it to continue improving. Shouho could not think of a good way to help it improve. This time, if they entered the Wolf Smoke mountain range again and encountered some ignorant spirit demon kings, perhaps they could help the fire cloud tiger devour their demon cores and help it to improve its cultivation level. They traveled day and night. 3 days later, they approached the border once again and arrived at the encampment of the Barbarian Suppression Army. The Barbarian Suppression Army already had a new name. The Empress had personally given the order to change the name of the army at the border to Xia Wu Army. When all the soldiers heard this name, they guessed why the Empress had changed the name of the army. Xia represented Great Xia, and Wu definitely represented Yang Wu. Who did not know that the Empress was interested in Yang Wu? They had almost gotten married. Even if they could not be together now, who could say for sure what would happen in the future? At least, the citizens of Great Xia all believed that only Yang Wu was worthy of the Empress, and only the Empress was worthy of Yang Wu. When Yang Wu arrived at the border, all the soldiers were in an uproar. Yang Wu was definitely the savior of these soldiers. When the barbarian tribe had besieged them, it was Yang Wu who came back in time to negotiate peace with the barbarian tribe. Only then did they manage to escape. Otherwise, they would have definitely been killed by the barbarian tribe. Greetings to Lord Yang Wu. Long live Lord Yang Wu. All the soldiers knelt down in unison and greeted him in unison. When Yang Wu saw these soldiers, he was rather emotional. He sighed in his heart. The world is changing so quickly. If someone heard his sigh, they would definitely retort, "It's not that the world is changing quickly, it's that you are improving too quickly." Yang Wu called these soldiers up and gave them a few words of encouragement. Then, he was brought to the tent by Su Yin Shuai. Many of the soldiers were very regretful. They were far away at the border, but after hearing about Yang Wu's many accomplishments in King City, they respected Yang Wu as a celestial being. They still wanted to pay their respects to Yang Wu's elegant demeanor. In the commander's tent, Su Yin Shuai smoked a cigarette and said, "What wind blew you here? Could it be that Her Majesty the Empress has some imperial edict for you to bring?" Su Yin Shuai had only been at the border for a few days and had just settled into the commander's seat. He really did not understand why Yang Wu had suddenly come. Yang Wu smiled and said, "How could there be so many imperial edicts? I just wanted to come here and meditate for a while. I also wanted to see third uncle on the way." "That's good. I thought Her Majesty the Empress was going to change her mind and replace me with the commander," Su Yin Shuai said with a sigh of relief. To be honest, compared to the title of City Guardian General, he preferred the feeling of being in charge of troops and horses. Even if there was no war to fight now, being able to command thousands of troops and horses was something that any man would dream of. "Third uncle, could it be that you don't have confidence in yourself?" Yang Wu asked back. "Of course I have confidence. These 2 days, I just took care of these bastards. Now, who dares to say no to this commander? It's good that you have confidence. Right now, the barbarian army will not invade, but you should not cross the border to find trouble with them. Moreover, you should not provoke the wolf race here. You must remember my words. All right, stop nagging like a woman at such a young age. If you don't listen to me, you will suffer losses. I'm leaving." Chapter 475. It was June, and the sun was scorching hot, shining down on the earth. However, it was extremely cool in the forest path of the Wolf Smoke mountain range. The Wolf Smoke mountain range was originally a huge ancient mountain range. There were many old trees growing here. Each one of them covered the sky and the sun. It was difficult for sunlight to easily penetrate. There were two youths riding their mounts leisurely along the forest path. A young man in a navy blue robe was sitting cross-legged on the turtle demon with his eyes closed. There seemed to be a sapphire light pulsating in his chest. The power of the heat in the sky was constantly converging and entering his chest. It was incomparably mystical. There was a little hay dog lying on his shoulder. It was fluffy and looked rather cute. Another youth with hair like a chicken's nest was sitting on a tiger demon. He looked up at the sky, and his gaze penetrated the shade of the trees and landed on the rising sun. He kept staring at it, as if he could pierce through the firmament and see through the sun. Ordinary people looking at the sun like this would be considered lucky if their eyes were not pierced. However, not only was the chicken's nest youth fine, he was even increasing the power of his eyes. It was truly shocking. These two youths were Yang Wu and Shou Ho. They left Xiao Wujuan and rushed to the destination of this trip. The direction they were walking in was the west side of the Wolf Smoke mountain range. It was the horizontal end of the mountain range. So they went on until the sun went down, and then they went on. The spirit demons here did not dare to attack them. With the aura of two spirit demon kings permeating the air, who would dare to come out and court death? At night, they stopped cultivating and began to observe the messy grass to search for old herbs. Their eyesight was not to be underestimated. They completely ignored the pitch-black night and easily found stalks of old herbs. Big brother, you have already reached the heavenly alchemist realm. Why are you still looking for these ordinary old herbs? Shou Ho asked puzzledly. Yang Wu said with a smile, any medicinal pill needs a pile of herbal essence to condense it into a pill. Don't underestimate these herbs. Without them, you can't refine a high-grade medicinal pill. Shou Ho said in realization, I see. Therefore, Shou Ho also joined in the ranks of collecting herbs for Yang Wu. A martial artist couldn't just blindly cultivate. Learning to distinguish between herbs was also a necessary practice. As a martial artist, who wouldn't be injured in battle? After being injured, they would definitely need herbs to heal. This was a very normal logic, so smart martial artists would always remember some common herbs in their hearts. Yang Wu collected herbs while explaining the effects of various herbs to Shou Ho. Shou Ho silently remembered it in his heart. At this time, the skinny monkey found a stalk of spirit medicine. It grew in a rather hidden location, but it couldn't escape his sharp eyes. Just as he was about to pick it, a shadow suddenly shot out. Its speed was quite fast, and it was very close to the skinny monkey. In the darkness of the night, it was difficult for anyone to discover its existence. Just as it was about to reach the skinny monkey quickly stretched out his hand and grabbed the shadow. Hiss! It was a spirit serpent demon as thick as an arm. Its body was covered in multicolored ribbons and was extremely dazzling. It flicked out its tongue and was about to lick the skinny monkey's face. Its malevolent fangs were extremely sharp, and there were even balls of venom gushing out. If the skinny monkey was half a beat slower, the fangs would definitely have bitten him. Five-colored snake. This is a big poisonous snake, Shou Ho said with lingering fear. Actually, he had already discovered that there was a spirit demon lurking nearby. However, he did not expect it to be a five-colored snake. This kind of snake's venom was extremely fierce. Once bitten, one would die in a short period of time. Shou Ho crushed the five-colored snake without saying a word, not giving it any chance to live. Yang Wu walked over and picked up the five-colored snake's corpse. He smiled and said, "This is a good thing for nourishing the kidney." With a flick of his finger, he took out the five-colored snake's gallbladder. A ball of mist appeared in his palm, washing away the stench of the gallbladder. He then took out a piece of herbal leaf and wrapped the gallbladder before stuffing it into his mouth. Shou Ho looked at Yang Wu's actions and could not help but click his tongue. "Big brother, your taste is really heavy." Yang Wu smiled bitterly and said, "There's nothing I can do. Big brother has kidney deficiency." What were men most afraid of? Of course it was kidney deficiency. Yang Wu was at the age where he was full of vigor, and his body was so strong. No matter how one looked at it, he did not look like he had kidney deficiency. Shou Ho said worriedly, "Big brother, Do you have some hidden illness in your body? Could it be that with your current ability, you can't solve this problem? In his opinion, Yang Wu's kidney deficiency was probably due to a certain aspect of his body being unable to function. This was definitely the most difficult and shameful thing for any man. Yang Wu was a heavenly alchemist and a high-level Earth-Sea realm martial artist. His vigor was incomparably exuberant, yet he actually had kidney deficiency. This could be a congenital disease. Yang Wu spread out his hands and said, "What nonsense are you thinking? Big Brother has fought too much and consumed too much of my kidney power. I just need to replenish it." Hey, is that really the case? Shoho said with a smile on his face. Battle strength was replenished through profound qi. Yang Wu's battle could only be replenished by nourishing the kidney. Any man would think the wrong way. Yang Wu said in annoyance, "What nonsense are you thinking? Big Brother is still a virgin. Hurry up and make a pot of snake soup to nourish it." Shoho laughed again, clearly not believing Yang Wu's nonsense. However, he did not dare to say anything else and quickly started a fire to make the snake soup. Yang Wu obtained many universe rings from the Purple Firmament Hall's people and gave one to Shoho. It was convenient for him to carry some necessities on him, including the soup pot that he was currently using. Yang Wu continued to search for herbs. When he returned, Shoho's snake soup was almost done. Shoho called out to him, "Big Brother, come and eat. It's very fragrant." "What's the rush?" Yang Wu replied and took out a few herbs and threw them into the snake soup. Zzz. The soup pot made some strange sounds and a medicinal fragrance wafted out. Shoho praised, "Big Brother is indeed an alchemist. You casually turned this soup into a pot of medicinal cuisine." "That's natural. I can eat now," Yang Wu replied proudly. "Big Brother, this soup should also be good for the kidney. You should eat more," Shoho said. "Grandson, come and take care of this guy. I'll give you a heaven pill." Yang Wu quickly ordered the silver-patterned tortoise not far away. "Yes, master." The silver-patterned tortoise's eyes lit up. It responded and rushed towards Shoho. It turned into a young man carrying a big pot on his back. He had a strange blue face with silver scales. He wasn't tall, and his arms and legs were short. As he ran, there was a gust of wind. Before he reached the skinny monkey, his fists were mercilessly thrown at the skinny monkey. "You really came?" Shoho exclaimed and quickly retreated. He was not afraid of the silver-patterned tortoise, but he was afraid that the fight would destroy the snake soup. The silver-patterned tortoise did not show any mercy to Shoho. It continuously threw out overlord fists with its fists. Each fist carried with it a strand of silver-patterned power. Its attack power was very strong. "Grandson, your master monkey is serious. Don't think that only Big Brother can subdue you." Shoho shouted and let go of his limbs as he fought fiercely with the silver-patterned tortoise. Shoho had broken through to the Earth-Sea realm, and his battle power was quite strong. He directly threw his fists at the silver-patterned tortoise. Bang, bang. In an instant, the sounds of these fists exploding continuously rang out, breaking the tranquility of the night. Many spirit demons and wild beasts in the surroundings were frightened and fled. The battle between kings was unstoppable. Yang Wu and Little Hay slowly drank the snake soup while admiring the battle between Shoho and the silver-patterned tortoise. They were in a good mood. In the royal city, he had been troubled by many things and had almost lost his life. Now that he had finally come out for a breath of fresh air, his body and mind could relax. Snake gall and snake soup were great tonics. After they entered his stomach, he quickly refined them. Strands of kidney, nourishing energy gathered at his kidneys, slowly strengthening his kidney power. In the battle between Yang Wu and the experts from the Purple Firmament Palace, he had used up too much of his kidney power. Kidney power was not like the energy in his dantian, which could be recovered by absorbing external energy. It had to be replenished with kidney nourishing energy in order to completely recover and strengthen. During this period, kidney nourishing is a big deal. Yang Wu sensed the location of his kidneys and found that his kidney power had indeed been replenished. However, it was still far from his requirements. He had to continue nourishing himself. In the night sky, Shouho and the silver-patterned tortoise were fighting fiercely, especially the silver-patterned tortoise. It was already a peak-level demon king with outstanding battle talent. When it went all out, it was even more valiant. It forced Shouho to reveal his bloodline power. The silver-patterned tortoise reverted to its original form. Both sides were fighting fiercely. "Damn it, grandson. Do you really think I can't do anything to you?" Shouho shouted angrily as he continuously attacked the silver-patterned tortoise. The silver-patterned tortoise had a strong defense. No matter how Shouho attacked, he couldn't break through its defense. At the same time, silver patterns appeared on its back, forming a large net that enveloped Shouho. Shouho was forced into a corner. His realm was one level lower than the silver-patterned tortoise. After he transformed, his strength increased, but he couldn't suppress the silver-patterned tortoise. He couldn't accept this fact. He took out his broken staff and waved it out with a blazing flame. At the same time, 2 rays of light shot out from his eyes, breaking the silver-patterned tortoise's defense and sending it flying. Just as Shouho was about to continue his pursuit, Yang Wu said, "Enough, you guys really want to fight to the death. Big brother, I must teach this grandson a lesson." Shouho was extremely angry. He ignored Yang Wu's words and continued to fight the silver-patterned tortoise. The silver-patterned tortoise was injured, but it was still full of fighting spirit. It roared, "Come on, I'm not afraid of you." A thick layer of icicles appeared on the silver-patterned tortoise's body as it charged forward again. All of a sudden, Yang Wu appeared in the middle of them. He threw a punch to his left and right, blocking all of their attacks. He shouted, "I said enough." Shouho and the silver-patterned tortoise sensed that Yang Wu was angry and instantly withered. Chapter 476. Who dared to doubt Yang Wu's fighting strength? He had kicked the skinny monkey's butt and cracked the silver-patterned turtle's shell. Even if they worked together, they would not be a match for Yang Wu. After they obediently stopped, Yang Wu brought them on their journey and punished them to find herbs and kidney-nourishing items. Along the way, the skinny monkey and the silver-patterned turtle collected a large amount of herbs and also many kidney-nourishing items. Among them were bear paws, deer antlers, spirit ginseng, and so on. Yang Wu did not argue as he roasted the bear paws and ate the spirit ginseng to quench his thirst. His kidney power was quickly replenished. Unknowingly, they had walked for several days in the mountain range and were finally about to reach their destination. "Oh, the howls of the wolf demons rang out as the wolf demons surrounded Yang Wu and the others. Along the way, Yang Wu did not harm any of the wolf demons. He was very clear that this was the territory of the wolf clan. If he harmed them, it would definitely cause a lot of trouble. "Big brother, there are so many wolf demons," the skinny monkey exclaimed. "Don't be afraid, they are friends," Yang Wu said calmly. "Who is your friend? Hurry up and scram from here, or I will eat all of you." A ruthless black wild wolf king rushed out and shouted. Beside the black wild wolf king, there were a few other wolf kings. They all angrily stared at Yang Wu and the others, as if they wanted to rush over at any time. The surrounding black wild wolves were suffused with a fierce light. The black wild wolf king could feel that the auras of the 2 people and the 2 demons in front of it were not ordinary. This was also the reason why it did not immediately give the order to attack them. "Big brother, are we going to kill them or what?" The skinny monkey held the broken rod and said faintly, "Is your patriarch Black Baron here?" Yang Wu ignored the skinny monkey and asked the leader of the black wild wolf king, You know our patriarch?" The black wild wolf king said in surprise. "Of course, hurry up and call it out. Tell it that Yang Wu is here to visit." Yang Wu replied. The black wild wolf king hesitated for a moment, then let out a few low howls towards the wolf demons beside it. Then it said to Yang Wu, "Wait here." Then it quickly rushed towards the tallest mountain nearby, where their patriarch was. Not long after, a loud wolf howl rang out, and an even larger wolf silhouette quickly appeared before Yang Wu. It was the Black Wolf Emperor Black Baron. Black Baron's gaze first landed on Little Hay on Yang Wu's shoulder. He lowered his proud head and prostrated himself on the ground. "Greetings to the little ancestor, young Master Yang." Black Baron was one of the heavenly demons that had gone with Yang Wu to the barbarian race. At that time, he had brought the Black Wild Wolf Emperor, the Ice Wolf Patriarch, the Three-Eyed Blue Wolf, the Old Tortoise, and the other heavenly demons to the barbarian race's border. That was how he had been able to negotiate with the barbarian race. In return, Yang Wu had refined a batch of Yao King pills for them. Long time no see, Black Baron. Yang Wu called out to Black Baron. Young Master Yang, long time no see. I've really missed you all. Black Baron warmly said. The skinny monkey was stunned. He didn't think that Yang Wu would be so familiar with such an imposing heavenly demon. However, when he thought about how powerful his big brother had become, he knew that there must be some unknown secret, so he didn't probe any further. When the Black Wild Wolf King heard its patriarch's words, it was so scared that its legs went soft. It had just threatened its patriarch's friend. What should it do now? Fortunately, it hadn't done anything too overboard, so it shouldn't be a problem. Black Baron, does this area belong to your tribe? Yang Wu asked Black Baron. He had followed the map given to him by the Death Battle Emperor. He didn't think that he would come to the Black Wild Wolf tribe's territory. This place wasn't far from where he wanted to go. He couldn't understand how the Death Battle Emperor had come here. That's right. This area belongs to us, but we'll have to move soon. Black Baron replied, then said, Let's not talk about this anymore. Little ancestor, please come in my cave for a chat. Yang Wu didn't refuse and brought Little Hay and the skinny monkey to Black Baron's cave. He had to understand the surrounding environment first. Perhaps Black Baron could provide him with some information. Black Baron's cave was very dark. It was so dark that one couldn't even see one's own hand. No matter who it was, they would feel a chill run down their spine. Black Baron was very tactful. It didn't know where it got a few crystals, but it instantly lit up the entire cave. This cave wasn't as spacious as the Ice Tribe Patriarch's cave, and there weren't any spirit items. It looked like it had been built not long ago. Only Little Hay's eyes were sharp. She jumped down from Yang Wu's shoulder and rushed toward the corner. Soon, she came back with a stone in her mouth. Little ancestor is really amazing. You immediately discovered the spirit treasure in my cave. Black Baron smiled. Yang Wu looked at the black stone in Little Hay's mouth and asked, Little Hay, what kind of stone is this? The skinny monkey's eyes jumped as he cried out. There's a ball of energy inside this stone. When Yang Wu heard the skinny monkey's words, he opened his soul to take a look. Indeed, he discovered that this stone contained an incomparably pure energy. This energy belonged to the black Xian Qi category. It was definitely a great supplement for cultivators who cultivated black Xian Qi. This is a mysterious black essence stone. It's a heaven-grade material. Its greatest use is to increase the absorption of black Xian Qi. It can also be used to forge heaven-grade weapons. Little Hay released her divine sense as she spoke. If Little Ancestor likes it, then take it. Black Baron said generously. If it was any other spirit demon, he would definitely fight them to the death. Only Little Hay was able to make him willingly give up such a high-grade material. Blackie nodded lightly and swallowed this piece of mysterious black essence stone into the universe space in his stomach, and he stored it for a rainy day. Black Baron had the other spirit demons bring out some spirit medicines and spirit springs to entertain Yang Wu and Little Hay. After Yang Wu sat down, he cut to the chase and said, Just now you said that you wanted to move from here. What's going on? This place is about to become Death Valley's territory. If we don't move, what else can we do? Black Baron sighed. You know about Death Valley? Hurry up and tell me about it. Yang Wu said excitedly. Death Valley was the destination of his trip. It was clearly marked on the map. When he suddenly heard Black Baron mention this place, he couldn't hide his joy. Death Valley was the place where the Death Battle Emperor had obtained the Mark of Death. Yang Wu didn't come here for the path of death, but for the mysterious essence Qi. The map had given him a faint feeling that he might be able to find a type of mysterious essence Qi here. Black Baron told Yang Wu everything he knew. The Death Valley was a place that had existed for a very long time. Legend had it that a fierce battle had taken place there. There were humans, spirit demons, and some other races. Many living beings had died in that battle. That place had been blasted into a Death Valley by the power of the battle. Countless corpses had been buried there, and the place was filled with a thick miasma of death. Be it humans or demons, only death awaited them if they went near it. It was known as the forbidden area of the Wolf Smoke Mountain Range. The territory that Death Valley occupied wasn't small. The miasma of death was condensed within the valley and wouldn't easily spread outwards. However, in recent years, for some unknown reason, the miasma of death had begun to spread outwards. Although it didn't spread quickly, after a long time, it had already devoured a large area. Many spirit demons had died to the miasma of death, and the spirit demons nearby had no choice but to relocate their territories to avoid being devoured by the miasma. The Black Wild Wolf tribe's territory wasn't in this area to begin with, but rather deeper. It was because of the miasma of death that they had been forced to move here. Black Baron felt that it wasn't safe enough and would have to continue moving. The miasma of death would spread here sooner or later. Yang Wu understood the situation. The amount of miasma of death in Death Valley was increasing, so it was spreading. He said impatiently, "It seems that I have to hurry over and investigate it." He felt that it might be the mysterious essence Qi that was causing the miasma of death to spread. The mysterious essence Qi in the world was the essence of all kinds of rare energies. It had a unique power. The current situation in Death Valley seemed to be caused by a type of mysterious essence Qi. "Young Master Yang, don't be rash. Only death awaits you if you go there." Black Baron said, "It's fine. We're leaving." Yang Wu said as he left. When he reached the entrance of the cave, he stopped and said, "Black Baron, do you want the Heavenly Beast Pill?" The Heavenly Beast Pill was a pill that could help a heavenly beast advance. How could Black Baron not want it? He swallowed and said, "Young Master Yang, can you refine it?" "Of course, as long as you have enough ingredients and beast cores," Yang Wu said as he led the skinny monkey outside. Black Baron quickly chased after him and said, "Young Master Yang, take care. Let me send you off." After reaching the heavenly beast realm, it wasn't easy to continue advancing. There were very few heavenly beasts in the entire Wolf Smoke Mountain Range. If he could advance by one level, the meaning would be completely different. Black Baron had to hug Yang Wu's leg tightly and put down his arrogance to send Yang Wu off. Yang Wu didn't mind. He directly sat on Black Baron's back and had him and Little Hay bring him to Death Valley. The skinny monkey, silver patterned turtle, and fire cloud tiger followed from behind. Black Baron deliberately slowed down so that the skinny monkey, silver patterned turtle, and fire cloud tiger could barely keep up. After about half a day, they arrived in front of a valley filled with miasma of death. Black Baron stopped in the distance and looked at the withered valley in front of him. "Young Master Yang, that is Death Valley. Take a look around and see if there's anything that can survive." Yang Wu and the skinny monkey looked around. This place was completely dark and barren. There wasn't even a single blade of grass that could survive. They could even vaguely see a few eerie white bones in front of them. Death Valley truly lived up to its name. The skinny monkey sucked in a cold breath and said, "This place is so eerie. Everything is filled with miasma of death. Just what happened here?" Suddenly, his eyes of fire and gold opened, and he saw an extremely shocking scene. Chapter 477. On the ancient battlefield, there were many celestial soldiers, celestial generals, countless birds and beasts, as well as people from different races. They were all holding different weapons as they slaughtered each other. The terrifying power seemed to be able to shatter the heavens. Countless drops of fresh blood fell like rain as corpses fell one after another. The ground was littered with broken limbs. It could be said to be a scene from hell. The more the skinny monkey looked, the paler his face became. In the end, he fell to the ground as if he had just experienced a life and death battle. Yang Wu opened his soul eyes and saw the same scene. Cold sweat slid down his cheeks. Such an earth-shattering battle was beyond the scope of his imagination. He could already challenge a heavenly fish realm expert and was definitely one of the strongest in the transcendent realm. However, when he was placed in this scene, he found that he was so insignificant. There were celestial soldiers, celestial generals, top-grade spirit demons, and all kinds of people. Every single one of them was a super expert. They could pluck the stars and move the moon with a single hand. They had boundless battle strength and could be said to be extraordinary. Yang Wu immediately realized that this was an ancient battlefield. He faintly said, "This place has a great origin." Black Baron revealed a look of fear and said, "My clan's head said that this place might be related to another realm." "Big brother, are we going to go in?" The skinny monkey stood up and asked. You all can go back. I can go in alone. You won't be able to withstand the poison of death here." Yang Wu softly replied, "Big brother, it's better if you don't go. You won't be able to withstand it either." The skinny monkey advised. Yang Wu firmly said, "I have to go." After saying this, he walked down from Black Baron's body and prepared to walk into Death Valley. "Big brother, I'll go with you." The skinny monkey quickly followed and said firmly, "You don't understand the path of death. I'm afraid you won't be able to withstand the environment here. You should wait for me outside." Yang Wu said, "Big brother, don't look down on me. I have an eye technique and can see through everything here. The power outside can't do anything to me. Perhaps there will be some danger inside, but I can act according to the situation. I definitely won't be a burden to Big brother." Skinny Monkey said confidently. After a pause, he added, "Maybe there's something I'm looking for here. The broken rod has been wailing all this time." He took out the broken stick, and sure enough, it was shaking nonstop as if it wanted to break free from his hand. Yang Wu hesitated for a moment, then took out a bottle of pills and stuffed it into the skinny monkey's hand, saying, "This is an antidote pill. Keep one in your mouth first. If you feel something is wrong, withdraw it." Then, he told the skinny monkey some information about the path of death, afraid that the skinny monkey would have an accident. The skinny monkey-like man accepted the bottle and placed one pill in his mouth. He then followed Yang Wu to the Death Valley. Yang Wu didn't walk for long before he waved at the silver-patterned turtle and said, "This heavenly soul pill is for you. If I can't come back, then go back to your old place and stay." The silver-patterned tortoise was instantly excited. This heavenly soul pill was a pill that strengthened the soul. It was extremely beneficial to its demon soul. Once it consumed it, it would be much easier for it to break through to the heavenly demon realm. "Many thanks, Master. I will definitely wait for you to come out," the silver-patterned turtle said very seriously. "Black Baron, take care of the fire cloud tiger. Don't let it be bullied in your territory," Yang Wu said to Black Baron before resolutely walking into the Death Valley. This time, Yang Wu felt uncertain. Perhaps this trip would be very dangerous, and even his life would be in danger. He could feel Little Hay's vigilance. Even if it didn't say anything, he could feel its cautiousness towards this place. Death Valley was shrouded in a dusky energy. This hazy energy was formed by the poisonous miasma of death. The energy on the outside was very weak, but after accumulating for many years, it was enough to cause many plants to wither and die. It was very difficult for them to grow here. Yang Wu opened his soul eye. He could see that the energy flowing here was filled with an evil aura. If it entered one's body, it would definitely cause problems. The skinny monkey didn't dare to withdraw his eyes of fire and gold. He continued to walk in the direction that the broken staff pointed. His body gradually emitted strands of fire energy, blocking the hazy energy that was attached to his body. As they went deeper, they heard gusts of chilly wind. They felt their bodies turn cold. Moreover, they saw some demonic beasts and wild bee skeletons scattered on the ground. From the appearance of these skeletons, they could tell that they hadn't been dead for very long. Woo-woo. Suddenly, some remnant souls flew out from the left and right. They were like demons and ghosts. They attached themselves to the hazy energy and rushed towards Yang Wu and the skinny monkey. These remnant souls were very weak. They belonged to the power of Een spirits without any consciousness. When they felt the fluctuations of life, they reacted naturally and rushed towards Yang Wu and the skinny monkey. Ordinary King Tears couldn't see the existence of these remnant souls at all. They were all incorporeal. Yang Wu and the skinny monkey both had different pupils, so they could see them all. "Scram!" the skinny monkey shouted. He waved his broken staff and smashed it towards these remnant souls. This broken staff contained a thick fire xianqi. In an instant, all of these remnant souls were burned to ashes. Fire energy was the best way to restrain these remnant souls. Yangwu did make a move. A thin layer of blue flames had already risen from his body, enveloping his entire body. When the remnant souls came into contact with his body, they quickly disappeared. The two of them continued forward. More and more remnant souls appeared. They combined with the hazy energy to form a gray storm that swept towards Yangwu and the skinny monkey. These ghosts really don't know their own strength, the skinny monkey said disdainfully. He prepared to use his true fire to burn all of these remnant souls. Yangwu said, "Skinny monkey, don't be in such a hurry. Let me do it." Next, Yangwu took out a urinal. He gently wiped the body of the urinal and said, "Collect them for me." The urinal was a holy item. Yangwu had always found it hard to believe, but he had no choice but to believe Little Hei's words. Last time, after the urinal had absorbed Hijun's soul, he believed that it might be a holy item that could absorb souls. Under Yangwu's command, the urinal produced a suction force that sucked all of these remnant souls into the urinal. The skinny monkey stared with wide eyes as countless remnant souls entered the urinal. He couldn't help but cry out, "Big brother, this urinal is so powerful. I think it should be called the soul-suppressing urinal." Yangwu shrugged. He thought to himself, perhaps the soul-suppressing urinal sounds better. With this batch of remnant souls, Lei Zhongjuan should be able to properly cultivate the ghost cultivation method. After a while, all of the remnant souls had been absorbed. Not a single one was able to escape. Lei Zhongjuan was wholeheartedly cultivating the ghost cultivation method in the urinal. After being nourished by Yangwu's medicinal liquid and devouring Hijun's soul, the state of his soul was clearly much better. Cultivating the ghost cultivation method also improved a lot, which was very beneficial to the state of his soul. He saw more and more opportunities to be reborn, so he didn't give up any time to cultivate. However, he felt that if he cultivated step by step like this, it would take a long time before he could condense a physical body. He hoped that Yangwu could give him more soul energy to replenish. Only then would he be able to greatly reduce the time it took to condense a physical body. Suddenly, there was a pile of remnant souls in the urinal. Although these remnant souls were incomparably weak and their energy was mixed, it was no doubt a long time coming. It was a very good replenishment. "Haha, this is very good. Refine all of them for me." Lei Zhongjuan let out a roar and activated the ghost cultivation method's devouring power. He swallowed and refined all of the remnant souls and continued to strengthen his soul. In the outside world, Yangwu and the skinny monkey didn't continue to go in. They were starting to encounter new troubles. The death aura and poisonous miasma had reached a certain degree of density, which became a hindrance to them. The death aura was a gas produced after a corpse was corroded. It possessed the power to corrode life force. The death aura here also contained a poisonous miasma, which was the product of the combination of corpse poison and death aura. This kind of energy was very lethal to any living being. Once they came into contact with this energy, their life force would be corroded and taken away. This was also the reason why the Black Wild Wolf tribe had no choice but to quickly move their territory when this energy spread. Yangwu possessed the Tao of Death, so he could clearly sense it. He said to the skinny monkey, "There is already a large amount of death aura here. I can absorb it without any problem, but you definitely can't absorb it. Remember to maintain a clear mind. Don't be confused by the energy here." "Big brother, don't worry. I know what to do." The skinny monkey nodded and replied, "Okay, let's go in." Yangwu replied and continued forward with the skinny monkey. Just as they went in, the invisible death aura began to linger around them. Even though they had their primordial fire to burn away the miasma, the will of death in the world rushed into their divine court and began to wreak havoc on their souls. Yangwu's divine court Tao flower flashed. The petal that contained the Tao of Death began to absorb the will of death that rushed in. The Tao of Death was drawn in and completely erupted. Yangwu's soul was the first to be affected. He lost control of his emotions. It was as if he was in an ancient battlefield, watching countless experts fall around him. The earth-shattering battle scene was extremely shocking. Yang Wu was like a tiny ant in this place. Any force that struck him would be enough to kill him. The heavy sense of death was extremely intense. He didn't feel any chance of survival at all. The sword light split open the ground and killed dozens of experts. The blade came from the other end and wiped out dozens of great demons. Demon claws descended from the sky and clawed many experts into pools of blood. The sky was crying and the earth was trembling. Countless lives were dying. When the battle came to an end, all the experts had fallen. Even though he hadn't participated in the battle, his body and soul had perished. Chapter 478. In the Tao of Death, it was either you die or I die. This contained the true essence of martial Tao. Yang Wu had long since condensed the Tao seed of death, but that was only the tip of the iceberg. Through this martial Tao, he could cause his opponent to feel a bit of fear in the face of death. From there, he could disturb his opponent and find an opportunity to find an opening. In fact, once the true Tao of death was released, it could deprive a person of their life force and cause them to die on the spot. Now, Yang Wu could clearly sense the state others were in when they were killed. Their life force was slowly draining away, and there were two ways to die. One was the death of the soul, and the other was the death of the body. The former was the dissipation of the soul while the body was still alive, but as the soul disappeared, the body would quickly lose its vitality and die completely. The latter was the loss of a large amount of blood or serious injuries to the organs, causing the body to lose its vitality. Without vitality, the soul would also be affected and slowly dissipate. No matter what kind of death it was, it represented the loss of life. The highest realm of the Tao of death was to cause both the soul and the body to die at the same time. If one could reach this step, they would need to possess an extremely strong death aura. Only death aura could corrode a person's life force. Neither the soul nor the body could stop it. How could one reach this realm in the Tao of death? If one didn't personally experience it, how could they understand the true process of death? Just like the war monarch of death back then, he had almost died and then crawled back from the brink of death to condense the pure Tao of death once more. Now, Yang Wu had also entered a state of self-death. On the ancient battlefield, countless saber lights and sword shadows had put him to death. He felt his soul withering away and his body's vitality draining away. From a state of exuberant vitality, he gradually entered a state of withering vitality. This process could only be sensed and not described in words. This state was the true essence of the Tao of death. It was the existence of this power that Yang Wu was in danger. His actual state was that his body was gradually aging and the divine court Tao flower was slowly withering away. If this continued, he would soon die of old age here. Little Hay on Yang Wu's shoulder was completely unaffected. It could sense the changes in Yang Wu and murmured, "Yang Wu, whether or not you can fully comprehend the Tao of death depends on you now. I can't help you." Then it looked at the skinny monkey. The skinny monkey had already released the power of his bloodline. His majestic blood chi erupted with a unique power that blocked the poisonous miasma. At the same time, the broken staff in his hand erupted with an inexplicable power, pulling him in one of the directions. Blackie didn't stop him. It muttered to itself, "The bloodline of that clan is indeed tyrannical. It can even isolate the power of death. And that broken stick, it has the same root as him. It seems like I can gain something from this place." Little Hay didn't waste time here with Yang Wu. It jumped down from Yang Wu's shoulder and wandered around as if it was searching for something. It didn't go very far, afraid that something would really happen to Yang Wu. With the passage of time, Yang Wu was already sitting on the ground. It was difficult to feel the existence of his vitality. He had also aged by more than 30 or 40 years. His hair was snow white, his skin was old, and his spirit was gone. Even his breathing had stopped. Was he already dead? Yang Wu wasn't dead. He still had a trace of vitality. This trace of vitality was in his dantian. The wisp of immortal chi wasn't affected by the Tao of death at all. It was still active and maintained his last bit of vitality. The eye of the earth see, and the eye of the soul sensed it again. The divine court Tao flower, which had withered under the influence of the Tao of death, slowly regained its vitality. The stems straightened and the petals bloomed again. The petal that contained the Tao of death displayed a powerful tenacity. It retrieved the power of the Tao of death one by one. As the power was retrieved, the vitality in his body recovered. The immortal qi flowed, and power was injected into his body again. His weakened organs regained vitality, and his aged skin was moisturized again. This was the process of reincarnation from death. It was incomparably miraculous. Yang Wu gradually regained his consciousness. He murmured, "People will grow old and die. Death is the process of losing vitality. It causes life to slowly age and die. The Tao of death can deprive others of their vitality and cause them to die." Yang Wu understood the true essence of the Tao of death. He could control the Tao of death in his body and absorb the qi of death into his own power. He wasn't affected by the qi of death. Yang Wu stood up. His appearance recovered once again. He absorbed all the qi of death that enveloped him and completely merged it into his body. The death petals in the divine court Tao flower gathered all the qi of death. The petals turned black, representing the power of the Tao of death. Yang Wu looked around and found that Shou-Ho and Little He were gone. He shouted in panic, "Shou-Ho, Little He, where are you?" He immediately searched the place for them, afraid that something had happened to them. Yang Wu kept shouting, but he didn't find Shou-Ho and Little He. He also didn't find their bodies. He became even more nervous. Fortunately, Little He's consciousness transmitted to him at this time. "Little Wu, come inside." After Yang Wu heard this, he quickly rushed into the depths of the qi of death. The qi of death was very strong. Even heavenly fish realm experts couldn't withstand it. If they didn't retreat, not only would their lifespan be greatly affected, it would even shorten their lifespan. Yang Wu was no longer affected by the Tao of death. As he went deeper, his comprehension of the Tao of death deepened. When he exited this place, the power of the Tao of death would reach a whole new level. After Yang Wu ran for a while, more and more remnant souls appeared. They were even more ferocious. Not only were there remnant souls of the human race, but there were also remnant souls of the monster race and some other special races. They howled and bared their fangs and claws at Yang Wu, wanting to tear Yang Wu to pieces. The soul-suppressing gourd in Yang Wu's hand played a great role. It absorbed all of these remnant souls without leaving a single one behind. Lei Zhongjuan, who was inside the soul-suppressing gourd, shouted excitedly, "You're really generous. After I cultivate a physical body, I'll definitely repay you well." As they went deeper, some Yin corpses finally appeared in this area. These were the corpse clan that had mutated after death. After they sensed the vitality, they surrounded Yang Wu. They kept spitting corpse poison from their mouths, which contained a dense, decaying aura. Yang Wu was still a teenager. This was the first time he had seen such a terrifying scene. He couldn't help but cry out, "Don't tell me I've come to hell." He didn't bother with these Yin corpses. Instead, he quickened his pace and rushed in the direction of Little He. Roar! Roar! Some of these Yin corpses were relatively powerful. They had already reached the king realm. They crawled up from the ground and madly chased after Yang Wu. Yang Wu had no choice but to attack as he forced his way in. Yang Wu kicked one of the Yin corpses away, but its corpse continued to move forward. It was extremely horrifying. Another corpse demon charged at Yang Wu, but Yang Wu punched it until its flesh exploded. Its broken bones were still rushing toward Yang Wu. These were all dead things, so they didn't feel pain at all. They had to be completely destroyed before they would no longer attack. Yang Wu leaped continuously, dodging a large number of Yin corpses. He also destroyed a dozen Yin corpses before he approached Little He. There, he saw several huge corpses moving. These were terrifying sky corpses. Their combat power was comparable to that of a heavenly fish realm elite. "Little Wu, come quickly. There are some good things here." Little He climbed on top of one of the sky corpses and called out to Yang Wu. "Little He, where's Shou-Ho?" Yang Wu asked. "Don't worry about him. He has other opportunities. Just take care of yourself." Little He replied. Then it said, "These sky corpses are quite strong. Play with them. Little He, don't mess around. Let them lie down quietly." I don't have that ability. In the next moment, Little Hay rode on the sky corpse and rushed toward Yongwu. This was a Tyrannosaurus corpse. It was only a layer of skin and bones. Its skeleton was very large. Its bone claws turned into scythes and slashed at Yongwu. Its attack speed was very fast. Ordinary Heavenly Fish Realm elites might not be able to dodge it. This Tyrannosaurus corpse's attack was comparable to the combat power of a Heavenly Fish Realm elite. This was quite a lot of pressure for Yongwu. Yongwu understood that this was Little Hay's test for him. He had to accept it even if he didn't want to. So he took out the Son of Heaven's sword and replied with a faint smile, "I only need 3 moves to kill it." "Little Wu, don't be overconfident," Little Hay replied. After it finished speaking, Yongwu dodged the Tyrannosaurus corpse's attack. He turned into a ghostly figure and appeared behind the Tyrannosaurus corpse. The Son of Heaven's sword in his hand struck out in an instant. A series of sword shadows crazily twisted toward the Tyrannosaurus corpse's tail. Meteor sword, first sword, chasing stars and moon. Meteor sword, second sword, stars like rain. Meteor sword, third sword, rainbow starlight. All this time, Yongwu was used to slow down his attacks. Now that he had just started, he exploded with such shocking killing power. Little Hay definitely did not expect this. The Meteor Sword was a heavenly skill that Yongwu had obtained from Heijun, and in Yongwu's hands, it was extremely powerful. In that instant, 3 moves exploded out at the same time, and countless Meteor Sword shadows with sharp sword lights shot through the entire area. The Tyrannosaurus corpse's reaction was obviously not fast enough. It was instantly engulfed by these sword shadows. After this wave of sword shadows swept past, the Tyrannosaurus corpse's huge body was cut into countless pieces. Its body fell to the ground with a loud bang. Little Hay had unknowingly jumped onto another heavenly corpse's head. She smiled and said, "Little Wu, you have some skills. Let's see if you can deal with 3 heavenly corpses at the same time. Go, beat Little Wu until his head is swollen." The 3 heavenly corpses nearby seemed to really listen to Little Hay's call. They all started to attack Yongwu. Right at this moment, a figure holding a huge saber appeared not far from them. Chapter 479. The 3 sky corpses were respectively a tiger corpse, a python corpse, and a barbarian corpse. Their bodies were corroded beyond recognition, and a thick death chi was released from their bodies. They besieged Yongwu at the same time, and turned the surroundings upside down. Yongwu was only at the advanced Earthsea realm. It wasn't easy for him to fight against 3 sky corpses at the same time. He first dodged, and then chose to counterattack. However, these 3 sky corpses were much more agile than the T-Rex. Even if they were dead, they had undergone mutation and belonged to the corpse race. They had the ability to attack instinctively. The tiger corpse quickly pounced at Yongwu. The python corpse opened its bloodless mouth and bit at Yongwu, and the barbarian corpse swung its fist at Yongwu. The barbarian corpse attacked from 3 sides with surging momentum. Yongwu was like an agile monkey, constantly moving his body and cleverly dodging their attacks. He also guided the 3 sky corpses to collide with each other, causing considerable damage to each of them. "Little Wu, don't be a coward," Little Hay hooted from the python corpse. Yongwu ignored Little Hay and continued to dodge. There were a few times where he almost failed to dodge in time. Fortunately, they had lost their intelligence. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to dodge so easily. "I'll use you guys to practice my sword," Yongwu shouted. He first locked onto the barbarian corpse. It was the strongest among the 3 sky corpses. If he destroyed it first, the other 2 wouldn't be a threat. The barbarian corpse repeatedly swung its barbaric fists, causing the air to crackle nonstop. Yongwu pushed his wind god's legs talent to the extreme and displayed the speed of a scud kick. He turned into a series of afterimages and dodged the barbarian corpse's attack. The Son of Heaven's sword kept slashing out. One strike after another was astonishingly fast, like a meteor falling, fast and ruthless. Many sword flowers landed on the barbarian corpse. Yongwu thought that he could easily kill it, but who knew that these sword flowers would only produce clanking sounds when they landed on the barbarian corpse. They were unable to destroy it. "So hard!" Yang Wu exclaimed. While he was distracted, the barbarian corpse's fist landed on his chest. Although he retreated quickly, more than half of the barbarian corpse's brute force still landed on his body, shattering his armor and sending him flying. The barbarian corpse continued its pursuit, and the other two sky corpses also arrived. "Woof woof! Little Wu Zi, let's see how you can continue to be so smug." Every single heavenly corpse was a very powerful existence when they were alive. Otherwise, how could they preserve their bodies? Little He laughed. "If that's the case, then let's go all out." Yang Wu had no choice but to do his best to kill these three sky corpses. Meteor sword. Yang Wu repeatedly thrusted out this heaven skill. Streaks of blue profound chi turned into rainbows and exploded in front of the three sky corpses. The three sky corpses used all kinds of methods to block Yang Wu's attacks. They also launched a fierce counterattack. The sky corpses were not afraid of death and had no emotions. They attacked wave after wave, causing Yang Wu to continuously reveal his flaws. His body was continuously injured. If it wasn't for his strong physical body, this wave of attacks would have been enough to take his life. Moreover, there was also the corrosive poison barrier, which was very fatal. Yang Wu was angered by the attacks. He activated his battle blood, and his body was filled with energy. He moved his wind god's leg and continuously attacked with the Son of Heaven's sword. Soon, Meteor Sword was cultivated to the large success stage of the soul body as one realm. The power of the sword increased greatly, and with the attack of the sword intent, he was finally able to injure the sky corpses. Corpses were, after all, corpses. Their vitality had long faded away. Even if they had mutated, they still had a huge flaw. They did not have intelligence and could not carry out exquisite coordination to kill Yang Wu. Moreover, they could not display their original talent. Their attacks were extremely simple. After Yang Wu activated his battle blood talent, both his speed and attack increased by several times. He caught their flaws and defeated them. Little He had been watching Yang Wu's battle. She secretly nodded and said, "After being oppressed again and again, little Wu Zi's battle strength has increased a lot. However, it's still not enough." At this moment, her gaze looked in one direction. A strange light flashed in her canine eyes. She had already discovered that there were other experts lurking in the distance. After Yang Wu killed the three sky corpses, he could finally catch his breath. He mobilized his strength to expel the corpse poison from his body. The corpse poison was extremely vicious. Even a heavenly fish realm expert would find it difficult to expel it. Only a blessed child like Yang Wu, who was blessed by the heavens with great luck, could be fearless of the corpse poison. Just as Yang Wu thought that he could quietly adjust his breathing for a while, an arc-shaped black saber light suddenly cut through the sky and slashed toward Yang Wu. This saber came too suddenly. Yang Wu was completely unprepared. Even if his soul force was extraordinary, he did not have time to completely dodge. He hurriedly raised the Son of Heaven's sword above his head to block the saber. Clang! Yang Wu's Son of Heaven's sword was slashed out of his hand by this terrifying saber strike. Blood instantly gushed out from the web between his thumb and index finger. His shoulder was ruthlessly slashed by the saber, and blood spurted out wildly. If his Son of Heaven's sword had not blocked most of the power, this saber strike would have been enough to split him in half. Yang Wu revealed an extremely shocked expression. His body was retreating, and he endured the pain as he rolled over and over. The saber light that continuously slashed down had cut deep grooves where he was. The destructive power was extremely terrifying. Yang Wu discovered that the strength of this opponent who had suddenly appeared completely suppressed him. It was definitely a super expert comparable to a high-level heavenly fish realm expert. After the figure that attacked slashed 3 times in a row, it stopped. The death aura and poisonous barrier gradually dispersed, revealing its true appearance. It was a monster with a human face and a beast body. Its upper body was that of a human, with a head and 2 arms. Its lower body was that of a horse demon, with 4 limbs and a ponytail. It looked rather strange. This monster also had 2 goat horns on its head. Its eyes were glaring at Yangwu. Clouds of death aura burst out from it, and it held a huge sickle in its hand. This sickle was like a crescent moon, emitting a dense, baleful aura. It was like a blade of death, and it would definitely cut off a person's head. Yangwu cried out, "What kind of monster is this?" Roar. The monster let out an angry roar. Its voice contained a terrifying, destructive power, causing the ground in all directions to crack. Countless corpses and bones were sent flying. Yangwu instantly felt his eardrums burst. The stimulating sound wave pierced into his ears and entered his body, wreaking havoc in his internal organs. In an instant, blood flowed out of his 7 orifices. Such an attack was too terrifying. How could Yangwu cope with it? Just as this wave of attacks fell, another voice rang out. Then, a shadow rushed over. It was Skinny Monkey, who had activated his bloodline. He was not holding a broken stick in his hand, but a complete long stick, carrying a raging fire. He smashed it towards a monster with a human face and a beast body. The power of the Skinny Monkey's stick was very domineering. It was completely beyond the scope of his strength in the past. It had definitely reached the combat strength of the heavenly fish realm. The human-faced beast slashed at the Skinny Monkey with its death sickle. The sickle and the long stick intertwined, and there was a burst of fierce sparks. The Skinny Monkey was only forced back a few steps. He was not injured by the human-faced beast. "How dare you stand in my way, little human? Get out of my way. I'm going to kill you," the Skinny Monkey roared. Then, the long stick in his hand slammed wildly at the human-faced beast. Every strike had the power to overturn rivers and seas. The surging power of the stick was accompanied by intense, true fire. All of them enveloped the human-faced beast. The human-faced beast roared in response. It kept slashing at the Skinny Monkey with its death sickle. The two sides engaged in an extremely fierce battle. Boom! Boom! This terrifying combat strength had exceeded the power of the advanced heavenly fish realm. It was completely comparable to the collision of the top heavenly fish realm. The destructive power was so terrifying that even Yangwu hurriedly hid far away for fear of being affected by this power. "What's wrong with the Skinny Monkey? Is he possessed by something?" Yangwu exclaimed in his heart. He was very clear about the Skinny Monkey's combat strength. The power that the Skinny Monkey was unleashing now did not come from him. Moreover, from what he had just said, there were some clues. At this time, Little Hay rushed to Yangwu's side and said, "Don't worry about him. His body is only being controlled. His soul has not been devoured." "What is controlling his body?" Yangwu was extremely nervous. "You'll know if you use your soul eye," Little Hay replied. Yangwu did not say anything and opened his soul eye. His gaze fell on the Skinny Monkey's body. Sure enough, he saw that the Skinny Monkey was shrouded in a layer of unknown power. This power did not belong to the Skinny Monkey. It was this power that was controlling the Skinny Monkey's body, causing it to explode with extremely powerful power. Yangwu took a closer look. This power was another shadow. It looked very similar to the Skinny Monkey, but it was definitely not the Skinny Monkey. He murmured, "Could it be the Skinny Monkey's ancestor? Probably from the same lineage." Little Hay said from the side. Then, it said, "That kid's opportunity is not inferior to yours. He should be entering the stage of rapid improvement. Don't fall behind. Hurry up and kill this human-faced beast. There's a passage in the place it's guarding. Perhaps there's another type of Xian essence chi inside." Little Hay said, "It's difficult for me to participate in a battle of this level. What is your potential for? You have to know how to make good use of it." With Little Hay's reminder, Yangwu decided to wait for an opportunity to act. As long as the human-faced beast showed a weakness, he would immediately attack. Yangwu mobilized his strength to heal his injuries. The Xianqi in his body churned wave after wave. The eye of the earth sea and his soul eye formed the heaven and earth profound bridge. The heaven's court Dao flower and his dantian merged together. The Xianqi circulated at an extremely fast speed. His limbs, Bones and internal organs were all cleansed several times. His spirit reached its peak. It was also at this moment that the skinny monkey and the human-faced beast fiercely clashed. The human-faced beast showed a slight weakness. Yang Wu's soul eye pulsed. A beam of soul light shot towards the forehead of the human-faced beast. Soul Extinguisher. Chapter 480. The human-faced beast was a corpse, but it had an incomparably powerful fighting strength. That was because there was a soul pulsing between its eyebrows. It was the soul that controlled the human-faced beast to fight, or rather, it was the soul of the human-faced beast. It hadn't disappeared, and it still had a powerful fighting strength. Yang Wu's soul eye fell on the soul of the human-faced beast. The overbearing soul attack affected the soul of the human-faced beast. Although it couldn't really destroy it, it could stop it from continuing to attack. Die! The skinny monkey seized this opportunity and raised a long stick in his hand high. Terrifying true fire soared into the sky and smashed the head of the human-faced beast in the next moment. Bang! The head of the human-faced beast instantly burst open, and a ball of soul power drilled out. A mournful voice sounded, "If you dare to enter the boundary, you'll die a horrible death. It's none of your business. Die for me." The skinny monkey-like figure responded in a domineering manner. He then waved his fiery stick at the soul force. The soul force tried to flee to the back, where a black hole appeared. It was the place where the poisonous miasma was the densest and most overbearing. Anyone who dared to approach it would die. "Can you escape?" Yang Wu sneered. He raised the soul-suppressing pot and quickly collected the soul that was about to escape. The ball of soul screamed as it was sucked in. "How dare you destroy my darkness emissary clone? You'll die a horrible death." No matter how it struggled and screamed, it couldn't escape from the soul-suppressing pot. The human-faced beast was subdued. Yang Wu put away the soul-suppressing pot and then rushed towards the skinny monkey. He shouted, "Who are you? Why are you controlling my brother?" If he hadn't used his soul, I'd see that the power controlling the skinny monkey was 70% similar to the skinny monkey's. He would have used the power of his soul to attack the skinny monkey instead of coming forward to question him. "You don't need to know who this lord is. I won't hurt him." The skinny monkey-like figure responded indifferently. His gaze fell on the position of the dense death gas poison barrier, and two streams of true fire burst out from his pupils. Bang! The power of the true fire was incomparably sharp. It burned and exploded at the location of the poisonous miasma. Many of the miasma dissipated, revealing a door of darkness. The door of darkness wasn't very big. It was only the size of a person. Furthermore, there was an unstable element pulsing within it. It contained an incomparably dangerous aura. "Finally, we can leave this damn place," Skinny Monkey said excitedly as he raised his staff and rushed towards the door of darkness. "Stop! Don't take my brother away!" Yang Wu cried out in alarm, wanting to stop the Skinny Monkey, but his speed was still too slow. He could only watch as the Skinny Monkey entered the door of darkness. Yang Wu was just about to give chase when Little Hei's voice sounded. "Don't be in such a hurry to give chase. It's not that easy to pass through the Spirit Formation Gate. Clean up the battlefield first so that I can take a look at the situation inside." Yang Wu trusted Little Hei completely. He stopped and said, "Little Hei, take a good look. I don't want anything to happen to Skinny Monkey. You don't have to worry about me." Little Hei replied confidently. She then arrived in front of the door of darkness and shot a sharp light into the door of darkness. Yang Wu took the opportunity to clean up the battlefield. His gaze was fixed on the death scythe. It was definitely a rarely seen weapon. When Yang Wu picked it up, a wave of death aura immediately swept towards him, wanting to corrode his entire arm. He was not afraid of this power. Instead, he activated the power of the Path of Death and poured it into the death scythe. In an instant, the death scythe exploded with an extremely terrifying amount of death aura. At the same time, balls of death aura continuously surged from the surroundings, forming a death aura storm. Yang Wu felt that the death scythe was very heavy. It was at least a battle blade with a force of over 10,000 kilograms. Furthermore, It possessed an extraordinary amount of strength. It was definitely not something that the heavenly fish could compare to. He muttered, "Could it be a saint weapon?" Yang Wu did not dwell on this matter. He put the death scythe away. With it, he could greatly utilize the power of the path of death. It could be used as a trump card. Afterwards, he searched the surroundings and found 3 stalks of herbs that could grow here. They were herbs that contained a poisonous fog of death aura. They were called death poison grass. This was definitely an extremely poisonous plant. If a heavenly fish realm powerhouse were to consume this kind of plant, they would immediately die. This kind of herb was not necessary for any cultivator. Only those who were evil would collect this herb to harm others. As an alchemist, Yang Wu had an incomparable understanding of the medicinal properties of all kinds of herbs. Even poisons had their uses. The 3 stalks of death poison grass in front of him could indeed be used to refine terrifying poison pills. They could also be used to refine some special pills, using poison to fight poison. Yang Wu did not let go of these 3 stalks of death poison grass and carefully put them away. In addition, he searched for the broken bones of the sky corpses from before. He picked out some intact bones and used blue enchantress to refine them. He burned away the poisonous fog of death aura that had seeped into them and put away these bones. Not only could these bones be used to refine pills, but they could also be used to refine weapons. They were all bones left behind by powerhouses and had great uses. After Yang Wu finished doing all of this, he once again walked towards the door of darkness. The door of darkness was originally shrouded in death aura. No matter who came, it would be difficult to discover its existence. Unless they could remove the poisonous fog of death aura one by one, they would not be able to discover the door of darkness. But who would want to provoke such an evil and deadly force? Yang Wu arrived at the door of darkness. Before he could speak, Little Hay spoke first. "This door is going to be destroyed." Yang Wu asked in shock what? Shouho had already entered the door. If this door was destroyed, how could he save Shouho? The energy of this door is already unstable. After that guy went in, he touched the incomplete laws here. It would be strange if this door was not destroyed. Little Hay said. After pausing for a moment, it continued. "I advise you not to go in. Once the power inside explodes, even if you're a heavenly fish realm powerhouse, you will still die." Yang Wu was silent for a moment. Then he said, "I want to go in. The mysterious essence Qi might be inside." Yang Wu had come here for the mysterious essence Qi. However, after coming here, the Sovereign Nine Mysteries formula had not fluctuated much. He wondered if there was any mysterious essence Qi here. Now that he was close to the door of darkness, he could feel a very weak response from the Sovereign Nine Mysteries formula. He felt that the mysterious essence Qi might be inside the door of darkness. Then let's go. Little Hay had no choice but to go in. It was linked to Yang Wu's fate. Whether Yang Wu could grow or not, it meant that its power could continue to be unsealed. Yang Wu had no choice. He took out a heaven-grade defensive armor and put it on. Then he directly stepped into the door of darkness. This heaven-grade defensive armor was one of the spoils of war he had obtained from killing He Zhen and Ji Tangping. Yang Wu didn't know what dangers lay behind the door of darkness, nor did he know where it led. He only knew that saving his brothers and finding the mysterious essence Qi were his 2 goals. Little Hay followed him closely. She jumped onto his shoulder and accompanied Yang Wu into the door of darkness. When Yang Wu stepped into the door of darkness, he felt an inexplicable power flow. He instantly felt the world spin around him. It was as if he had entered a space-time tunnel. He couldn't control his body. He was dizzy and couldn't think at all. This was the first time he had encountered something like this. Little Hay's consciousness rang out. Guard your mind and use your heart to feel. This is a boundary passage. The power is unstable. After receiving Little Hay's reminder, Yang Wu hurriedly activated the power of the Divine Court Dao Flower. He quickly stabilized his mind and sensed everything around him. He tried to adapt to the environment here. There was an inexplicable power flowing here. It transported him in an unknown direction. His body was constantly spinning. If he didn't control it, he would inevitably encounter some unknown danger. Thinking of this, Yang Wu activated the supreme 9 profound arts. His xian-qi flowed through his body over and over again. His soul and body fused together again. He forcefully used this power to stabilize his body. Just as he was rejoicing, the power here suddenly became even more terrifying. It swept toward him like a storm. Little He cried out in alarm. Little Wu, quickly use all your strength to defend yourself. Yang Wu didn't have time to think. He used all his strength to wrap himself tightly in order to avoid being strangled by the power. This power was too terrifying. The xian-qi armor on Yang Wu's body was like paper and was easily torn apart. Fortunately, he still had a celestial soldier's armor, which continued to block for him. However, it was still not enough. The lethality of this power was too terrifying. You want to hurt me with a mere boundary power? All of you scram. This time, Little He was angry. It roared and a powerful force spread out. It enveloped itself and Yang Wu, forcibly blocking the boundary power. Little He was really powerful. Its young body contained a very terrifying power. Ever since it fought with the heavenly demon flood dragon, it hadn't fought again. Yang Wu didn't know how much of its power had recovered or what level it had reached. Now, he could clearly feel that Little He's combat power was definitely not inferior to a high-level heavenly demon. It was even possible that it was a top-level heavenly demon. Little He had resisted the heavenly lightning many times. The heavenly lightning couldn't hurt it at all. It could only unlock the power in its body bit by bit. This was also related to Yang Wu's increase in combat power. Little He, where does this lead to? Yang Wu asked Little He when their situation had stabilized. How would I know where it leads to? Maybe it leaves the mortal realm and reaches the transcendent realm. Maybe it enters a spatial rift or some other unknown space. Little He replied. Then, it sensed an even more powerful force sweeping toward it. It couldn't help but exclaim, Little Wu, get ready. This boundary space is about to be destroyed. Rumble, rumble. Chapter 481. The destruction of the barrier passage meant that the great power contained in it had been exhausted. There was no way to maintain the rules and continue to move forward. The destructive power it had created was enough to turn even those in the heavenly fish realm into dregs. Even those in the dragon transformation realm might not be able to survive. From this, it could be seen just how terrifying the destructive power of the barrier was. Yang Wu and Little He received an unprecedented impact. Little He's power could not block it at all, and it completely exploded. The man and the dog both received a destructive impact at the same time. The heavenly robe on Yang Wu's body instantly exploded. His body received a terrifying impact, and he completely lost consciousness in the blink of an eye. After an unknown period of time, Yang Wu finally regained some consciousness. He heard some people talking to each other. Little junior sister, we don't even know where this dying guy came from. Why are you saving him? Could it be that you've fallen in love with him because he's handsome? What are you talking about, senior sister? We monks are merciful, and it's our duty to heal the wounded and dying. No matter which force he comes from, we should save him. Sai, I know you have a kind heart, but we're fighting on the Heaven King rankings. What you're doing will harm all of us. Senior sister, why don't you go first and let me take care of him? Am I still alive? Yang Wu asked himself weakly. Soon, he fainted again. Night fell, and a cold wind blew. There was a bright moon in the sky, and it chased away the phantoms in the night. Yang Wu's body trembled, and he couldn't help but mutter, Cold, so cold. You're awake. I'll start a fire for you. A clear and pleasant voice sounded in his ears. This voice was like a trickle of water that slowly flowed into Yang Wu's ears. It seemed to inject a wave of energy into him, and his body and mind were cleansed. His body gradually warmed up, and he felt much better. The fire was burning, and the power of the fire touched the fire in Yang Wu's heart. Blue Demonis woke up on its own and slowly absorbed the fire into its heart. It also emitted heat to drive away the coldness in his body. As this energy flowed through his body, Yang Wu finally regained consciousness. He hurriedly looked inside his body and was completely stunned. His immaculate body was badly damaged. Many of his meridians were ruptured, his internal organs were displaced and bleeding, and his bones were broken. He was like a man made of glass, and a light touch would shatter his body into pieces. What a miserable situation this was. The most important thing was that his dantian was also affected. That strand of immortal energy circled around his dantian, protecting it. It didn't nourish his body like before. No wonder his body was in such a bad state. These were all internal injuries, and the external injuries were even more tragic. His entire body was covered in shocking scars, and anyone who saw it would feel heartache and shed tears. Yang Wu had experienced countless life and death situations and was injured many times, but this was the first time he had suffered such terrible injuries. With his current injuries, he was basically a cripple, no matter what level an expert was at. If he was injured like this, there was no way he could survive. It was already a miracle that he was still alive. At the same time, Yang Wu also discovered that there was a lump of medicinal energy in his body. It was this medicinal energy that awakened his life force. Yang Wu hurriedly tried to circulate the Regal 9 Mysteries formula. Just as he was doing this, he felt a wave of pain. His meridians were ruptured, and his power was blocked. He couldn't circulate at all. Yang Wu couldn't help but let out a blood-curdling scream, scaring the girl beside him. That girl said, "Don't move. Your body is very bad. You can't breathe." At this time, what entered Yang Wu's eyes was a pure young nun. She wore a nunnery hat, revealing her delicate face. Her pair of big eyes were like bright moons, full of spirituality. If one looked at her, it would be easy to fall into her eyes and be unable to extricate oneself. She wore an ordinary gray robe, tightly wrapped around her exquisite figure, concealing her charm and adding a bit of simplicity. At this time, another young nun walked over and said, "Junior sister, he has already woken up. We don't need to care about him anymore. It's time to complete our mission." This young nun obviously didn't like to bring Yang Wu along. She felt that he was dragging them down. Now, she gave her junior sister an ultimatum. "Senior sister, his injuries are so serious. If we leave him here, he will be eaten by vicious beasts." The young nun said with a compassionate expression. The young nun said resentfully, "If you insist on saving him, you will implicate all of us and we won't be able to complete our mission. Moreover, you still have to fight for the Heavenly King ranking and fight for the glory of our Hongshan lineage. You should be clear about which is more important." Another 3 nuns came over to persuade the young nun in front of them. They all complained that she shouldn't be delayed by a strange man. The young nun was in a difficult position. She struggled for a while and said, "Senior sisters, let me take care of him for one more night. After tonight, I will continue to carry out the mission with you." The nuns present all knew the young nun's position in their faction. They couldn't force her and allowed her to take care of Yang Wu for one more night. These nuns all glared at Yang Wu with dissatisfaction and sat far away. They didn't want to stay with him. The young nun looked at Yang Wu with an apologetic expression and said, "I'm sorry. My senior sisters don't have any bad intentions. They're just anxious about the mission for the Heavenly King ranking. If we can't complete it, not only will our Hongshan sect be humiliated, but our status in the 5 Peak Mountains will also be damaged. This is something my senior sisters and master don't want to see. I also want to contribute to the mountain sect. I've already delayed a lot of time to take care of you these days, so I might not be able to take care of you tomorrow." This was a very kind-hearted young nun. She was also a young nun who didn't have any ulterior motives. In just a few words, she exposed her identity and what she wanted to do. Yang Wu had never heard of these factions and didn't know where he was. He looked at the young nun who didn't have any ulterior motives and felt a wave of warmth in his heart. This was his savior. He definitely couldn't make things difficult for her. He said with difficulty, "Thank you. Don't worry about me. No, actually, I really want to save you, but your body's condition is too bad. Your meridians are all broken. Even if I gave you a healing pill, it would still be difficult to heal you. Unless I could ask my martial uncle to help you refine a high-grade pill. Perhaps you would still have hope of recovery. Unfortunately, she isn't here." The young nun replied with guilt. What kind young girl? For an unrelated person, She even planned to ask her martial uncle to refine a high-grade pill for him. This was a huge favor. Every high-grade pill was priceless. If one didn't take out something of the same value, there was no way to trade for it. Did this young nun not know? You don't have to blame yourself. A kind-hearted girl like you will definitely be rewarded in the future, Yang Wu said weakly. The young nun reluctantly smiled and said, "We monks don't ask for anything in return." After pausing for a moment, she took out a pill and said, "I also have a healing pill here. You should take it first. Even if it can't help you recover, it can at least make you feel a bit better. This is all I can do." Finished speaking, she put the pill into Yang Wu's mouth. Yang Wu didn't even have the chance to refuse. King-level healing pill, Yang Wu said with surprise in his heart. He didn't think that this young nun would be so generous. This kind of pill's value was not low. Yang Wu silently remembered this kindness. He vowed to give this young nun a great reward. Yang Wu didn't delay any longer. He urgently wanted to recover. He wanted to figure out where this place was so that he could be prepared at any time. He felt that this place wasn't very peaceful. After the young nun fed Yang Wu the pill, she said, "You should rest well. If there's anything you can call me. I'll meditate by your side tonight." Yang Wu softly replied and closed his eyes. The young nun sighed and meditated by Yang Wu's side. Yang Wu's meridians were broken, his internal organs were damaged, his bones were broken, and his body was crippled. The only way to survive was the immortal qi in his dantian. Only by activating it could he recover quickly. After looking inside for a while, he thought of the mysterious bridge of heaven and earth formed by the soul I and the eye of the earth sea. Only in this way could he make the immortal qi work. This strand of immortal qi belonged to the original power of the peach of immortality. It was protecting his dantian. The power in Yang Wu's dantian was not damaged. He had power, but he couldn't use it. This was the reason why he couldn't recover. Soul eye open. Yang Wu used his powerful soul power to open his soul eye. He shot it directly below his dantian and connected with the eye of the earth sea in his dantian. When the power of the soul eye rushed down, the sealed dantian was finally opened. The profound qi in his dantian was constantly churning. The eye of the earth sea spun rapidly, bursting with a mass of power. The soul eye combined together to form the heaven and earth profound bridge. This was an ability that only the heavenly fish realm could possess. Yang Wu could do it when he broke through to the earth sea realm. When the heaven and earth profound bridge was opened, one could absorb the profound qi of heaven and earth from the outside world for one's own use. This was the ability of the heavenly fish realm experts. With the opening of the heaven and earth profound bridge, the strand of immortal qi finally became active. As the heaven and earth profound bridge moved, the meridians, organs, and bones began to be nourished. Little by little, the injuries on the body were healed. The effect was not as good as usual, but it was really happening. Yang Wu was overjoyed. I'm saved. He didn't like the fact that he couldn't fight and couldn't take care of himself. He didn't want to drag this kind young nun down. He wanted to recover faster. However, at this moment, a wave of danger approached. A few tender humans. They're perfect to fill the gap between my teeth. A gloomy voice sounded. Chapter 482. For such a voice to suddenly appear in this quiet night sky, it was very frightening. The nuns here held onto their weapons and entered a battle state. The young nun next to Yang Wu also jumped up. However, her movements were clearly shaky, and her expression was extremely nervous. She probably did not have much battle experience. Junior Marshall's sister, quickly come over to our side. A yiksha has appeared, a nun called out. Senior Marshall's sister, I want to protect this benefactor, the young nun replied with a stutter. Look at the situation now. Why are you still paying attention to him? This yiksha is very strong, and we won't be able to protect him, another nun replied. The young nun was so conflicted that she could not say anything. Hee, all of you will become my food. Don't be anxious. A tall black figure carrying a trident appeared not far away from the nuns. This was a yiksha. It had a tall and thin figure and looked very ferocious. Its skin was completely black, and it was hard to notice when it blended into the night. There was also a pair of fleshy wings on its back and a curled tail. It emitted waves of dark aura all over its body. The Yiksha race was an evil race. It was said that they had been exiled and did not wish to stay in this world. We were still worried that we wouldn't be able to find you Yikshas. It's great that you're here. Kill it. A bold nun let out a cry and charged toward the Yiksha with a longsword. In that instant, streams of silver sword light flashed in the night sky, heading straight for the Yiksha. This nun's battle prowess was not bad, and she was already at the high level of the Earthsea realm. Amongst the 10 or so nuns here, she was considered average. Don't be careless. I'll accompany you. Another nun let out a cry and also charged out with her battle sword. The Yiksha walked over unhurriedly. It waved the trident in its hand, and a domineering power appeared, shattering the many sword lights. There was even a powerful force that swept out toward the two nuns. The Yiksha's battle prowess was not to be underestimated, and it managed to seriously injure the two nuns with a single move. This could be heavenly Yiksha. Let's attack together, another nun cried out. The other nuns quickly joined the battle, surrounding and attacking the Yiksha. These nuns were all experts in the Earthsea realm. None of them were lower than this realm. There were even some who were at the peak of the Earthsea realm, and none of them were over 30 years old. This was definitely not a strength that the geniuses of the mortal world could possess. Could it be that this was the transcendent world? At this moment, the young nun guarding Yang Wu said, "Stay here. I'll go help my senior sisters." The young nun mustered up her courage and joined the battle with a soft sword. This 16 or 17-year-old nun was actually at the Earthsea realm. Moreover, she had reached the peak of the Earthsea realm. Her talent was definitely that of a super genius. Yang Wu was lying on the ground. When he sensed the scene, he was stunned. He muttered in his heart, "Could it be that I've really come to the transcendent world?" He didn't have time to think about it blindly. He had to recover his battle strength as soon as possible. Otherwise, if another Yiksha appeared, he would definitely die. He could no longer sense Little Hei's existence. Little Hei also didn't send him any messages. They were probably separated. As the heaven and earth profound bridge was set up, immortal energy nourished his entire body. His meridians were connected one by one. He could finally barely circulate the regal 9 profound arts. He could use the energy in his dantian. His 1,000 orifices spewed out multicolored mist, which combined with the immortal energy. His 12 standard meridians were able to circulate. Yang Wu wasn't satisfied with his current recovery speed. He began to refine the medicinal power of the healing pill to help him recover faster. The effect of the king-level healing pill was very obvious, but Yang Wu clearly discovered that there was still a big gap between the efficacy of this healing pill and the one he refined. The efficacy of the healing pill he refined was much more obvious. From this, it could be seen that the level of the alchemist who refined this healing pill was not very good. If the young nun heard what Yang Wu was thinking, she would definitely be very sad. This was because this pill was refined for her by her martial uncle. Her martial uncle was the best alchemist among the younger generation in the sect. Yang Wu had no choice but to refine another healing pill from his Qianko in space. He tried his best to heal his injuries by using both methods at the same time. On the other side, the battle was getting more and more intense. A dozen nuns joined forces to besiege the Yiksha. They formed a formation and attacked, and defended very well. They forced the Yiksha to be unable to defeat them in one fell swoop. "You bunch of troublesome humans. Do you really think I can't do anything to you?" The Yiksha roared impatiently. It waved the trident to form a black storm. It carried a thick, decaying aura as it continuously charged toward the nuns. The nuns used all their strength and combined with the power of the formation to forcibly block this wave of attack. After blocking this attack, their strength was quite obvious. The formation also became slightly disrupted. The Yiksha began to counterattack. Bang! No one knew what method the Yiksha used, but there was a shocking explosion in its position. Its figure completely disappeared, and even its aura could not be sensed. The nuns panicked. The leader of the nuns ordered, "Quick, everyone back to back. Don't be defeated by it one by one." Just as she gave the order, the Yiksha had already appeared beside one of the nuns. Its trident pierced the nun's body and killed her. Junior sister, senior sister. The nuns cried out involuntarily. Then they frantically attacked the Yiksha again. Countless sword rays formed a sword net, enveloping the world. However, the Yiksha disappeared in front of their eyes again. When it appeared again, another nun was killed. Hee, none of you can escape. The Yiksha sneered. The leader of the nuns anxiously shouted to the young nun, Junior sister Qing Jing, use your talent to find it, or we will all die here. Oh, I'll try. The young nun replied nervously. The young nun began to form a seal in front of her chest. A ball of inexplicable holy light emerged from her chest. This was a talent belonging to the heart. Just as this ball of holy light appeared, the Yiksha had already appeared behind the young nun. Its trident pierced the young nun's back. Junior sister, be careful. Everyone had already seen the Yiksha appear behind the young nun with the help of the power of holy light. Everyone's expression changed greatly. They all drew their swords at the same time, wanting to stop the Yiksha's attack, but it was too late. Their hearts were about to break. This junior sister was very important. She was also the direct disciple of the sect master. If she died, the sect master would be very sad. Die. The Yiksha bared its deep fangs and said. It didn't think that the others could pose a threat to it. Only the young nun's activated power made it afraid. She must die. At this critical moment, an invisible blade containing the power of ice cut towards the Yiksha. This invisible blade was launched later. Before the Yiksha's attack landed on the young nun, it cut through the back of its neck and cut off its head. This scene happened too suddenly. No one knew what had happened. At the same time, the young nun's power bloomed. It was the power of a purifying lotus, expelling all the evil power. The nuns couldn't open their eyes because of the power of the light. They all stopped moving. This holy light lasted for a while and then disappeared. The young nun said with a blank expression, Is the Yiksha dead? The nuns came back to their senses and rushed towards the young nun. At the same time, they found the Yiksha's head cut off behind her. Junior sister is so powerful. You killed this heaven-ranked Yiksha. Yes, no wonder the sect master said that junior sister's talent is extraordinary. It really isn't a lie. Sigh. It's a pity that 2 junior sisters were killed. What a hateful Yiksha. We must kill them all. The young nun was still in a daze. She said in disbelief, I didn't kill the Yiksha, right? The young nun in the lead said, Who else could it be other than you? Hurry up and take the Yiksha's magic core. This is your proof of fighting for the Heavenly King ranking. The young nun quickly waved her hand and said, My strength is still far from enough. Senior sister, you should take it. Just take it. The leading nun reprimanded. Then she cut open the Yiksha's head and took out a magic core. She stuffed it into the young nun's hand. The young nun was so scared that she quickly threw it away. She kept chanting, Amit Ba, Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara. When you walk deep into Prajnaparamita, you see that the 5 skandhas are all empty. She couldn't help but recite Buddhist scriptures. She looked very solemn. Junior sister, what are you doing? These are evil spirits. Don't tell me you can't bear to kill them. The leading nun said, Senior sister, I don't want to kill. I didn't kill it. You can take it. The young nun hurriedly said. She didn't care about the other nuns and quickly ran towards Yang Wu's position. Junior sister, the leading nun shouted unwillingly. Senior sister Qingli, let her be. This is the first time junior sister has left the sect. She doesn't know how dangerous the world is. Once she experiences more, she will understand. A nun persuaded. Another nun also said, That's right. Junior sister has a bodhisattva's heart. She can't even bear to hurt an ant. It's already amazing that she can kill a Yiksha. How could I not know what you guys are talking about? But one of us must enter the top 100 of the Heavenly King ranking. Other than junior sister, there is no one else. If I don't force her to grow, I'm afraid she won't even be able to enter the top 1,000. The leading nun sighed. Not far away, the young nun had already returned to Yang Wu's side. Her mood was very complicated. She was still chanting Buddhist scriptures to calm her mood. Yang Wu looked at the solemn face of the young nun, and a feeling of pity arose in his heart. This was a pure and flawless young girl, and he really didn't want the world's evil to affect her purifying Saint Lotus heart. When I get better, let me hold the blood blade for you and fight for that heavenly king ranking for you. Yang Wu silently thought in his heart. Chapter 483. The night slowly passed. On a boundless grassland, the sun did not rise. It was a gloomy day. From time to time, gusts of cold wind would blow. It was not like the hot wind of summer at all. It was more like the cold wind of early winter, causing the grass to rustle. After a night of recuperation, Yang Wu's body was basically running smoothly. Although his external injuries still looked terrible, in fact, most of his internal injuries had already healed. As long as he could circulate his energy, he would be able to recover very quickly. Yang Wu still had his eyes closed as he silently healed. Currently, he had to use all his strength to smooth out the cracks in his bones. As long as his bones were healed, it would be easier for him to move. At this time, the young nun beside him, Qing Jing, said softly to him, "I'm leaving." Her face was filled with guilt, as she was extremely sad that she could not continue to take care of Yang Wu. Yang Wu opened his eyes and asked, "Can I ask you 3 questions before I leave?" Yes. Ask away." Qing Jing nodded repeatedly. "How many days have I been unconscious for?" "Since the day I saved you, it's been about 7 days." "Where's this place?" "You don't know where this place is. This is a broken space, a place where the younger generation of the various large sects compete for the heavenly king ranking." "What's your name?" My Buddhist name is Qing Jing." Qing Jing clearly did not expect Yang Wu to suddenly ask for her name, causing her to be caught off guard. "I'll remember Qing Jing. You can go." Yang Wu replied seriously. "I'm sorry." Qing Jing bowed to Yang Wu, apologized, and got up to leave. She had just taken a few steps when Yang Wu's voice came from behind her. "You are a good person. You will be rewarded." "Thank you, almsgiver," Qing Jing replied, finally reuniting with her senior sisters. The group of nuns headed in one of the directions to complete their mission. Not long after, a nun quickly returned and placed some food beside Yang Wu, saying, "This is left for you by our junior sister. Consider it your fortune from your previous life." After saying that, she quickly left and caught up with the team again. Yang Wu looked at the bag of water and some dry rations beside him, and his heart was deeply moved. "I've met a true bodhisattva." Yang Wu thought emotionally. Yang Wu completely let go of his hands and feet. It was time for him to fully recover from his injuries. With the construction of the heaven and earth mysterious bridge, his internal injuries had recovered by more than half. The Supreme Nine Mysteries formula was running at full force. Under the nourishment of the energy in his body was recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye. A large amount of energy was being absorbed by him from all around. These energies were like swallows returning to their nest as they entered his body. Drops of Xian Qi fell from his dantian like rain. The eye of the earth sea was spinning faster and faster. His meridians were emitting surging sounds. His acupoints were as bright as stars. A blue light appeared on his body. It was very sacred and astonishing. Papa! Strange sounds came from inside his body. It was not only the power of the Xian River, but also the power of his muscles. This was a pure and clean body. After about 2 hours, Yang Wu had recovered by more than half. He was finally able to stand up again and use his strength to fight. Although there were still some injuries that needed time to heal, it was much better than being powerless before. Suddenly, there was a fluctuation of energy in the distance. 5 shadows swept out from the grass and headed straight for Yang Wu. "Lord Yi Ji hasn't returned for the whole night. Did something big happen?" These 5 figures belonged to the Yiksha tribe. One of the Yiksha asked doubtfully. Another Yiksha pointed at Yang Wu's position with a weapon and said, "There's a living human over there. Capture him and ask him if he knows anything." Soon, the 5 Yikshas surrounded Yang Wu. Balls of dark energy filled the air. If Yang Wu made the slightest move, he would be killed by them. "This human seems to be injured. Did you see Lord Yi Ji here last night?" One of the Yikshas scolded Yang Wu. Yang Wu pointed in a direction and replied, "I saw him. He's over there. One of the Yakshas looked back and found no trace of his lord. He cursed loudly. How dare you trick me? I'll kill you. He's really over there. He's just dead. Yang Wu replied indifferently. The 5 Yakshas' eyes twitched. One of them quickly rushed in the direction Yang Wu had just been and screamed, "Come quickly. Lord Yi Ji is really dead." The Yakshas were shocked, and they quickly rushed towards that Yaksha. They all saw the decapitated Yi Ji and felt a chill run down their spines. It must have been done by that human. Let's go back and kill him, one of the Yakshas shouted. Just as they were about to go back and kill Yang Wu appeared behind them and replied, "I really did kill him." The Yakshas were shocked. They wanted to attack Yang Wu, but Yang Wu had already made the first move. He activated his ice blade wings and attacked without a trace. Puffed, puffed. 4 of the Yakshas were instantly killed by the sharp ice blade wings. They were only king-class Yakshas, so they couldn't do anything to Yang Wu. The Yaksha that hadn't been able to attack in time was stunned. It didn't even think about it, and quickly fled to avoid being killed. Of course, Yang Wu wouldn't let it escape. Under the control of his divine will, the ice blade wings were like peerless swords. In an instant, the Yaksha's wings were cut off, so it couldn't escape. "Human, if you dare to kill me, we Yakshas will not let you go." The Yaksha fell to the ground in pain and roared at Yang Wu. "Tell me about this broken space." Yang Wu sat down and asked the Yaksha. "This is Yaksha territory. Intruders like you will die a horrible death," the Yaksha scolded. "All right," Yang Wu answered softly. He formed a sword with his finger and slashed at one of the Yaksha's legs. Arg! One of the Yaksha's legs was cut off, and black blood quickly flowed out. "Are you going to tell me or not?" Yang Wu asked again. "I won't tell you even if I die," the Yaksha said stubbornly. "Then die." Yang Wu was too lazy to interrogate the Yaksha. He pointed at the Yaksha's head and cut it off. Yang Wu wasn't able to get any information from these Yakshas, but he wasn't discouraged. Everything was easy to solve now that his body was better. Yang Wu cut open the Yaksha's head and took out the demon core. He could feel that the demon core contained the Yaksha's energy crystal. It was the same as the demon core of the demon race. He muttered, "Those nuns must have a use for these demon cores. I'll keep them for now." Yang Wu took away all of the Yaksha's weapons. He also found some dark materials on their bodies. These were ordinary king materials, and there were some middle-level Xian spirit stones. Yang Wu lit a fire on their bodies and burned their bodies clean. Then he began to leave. First of all, he had to figure out where this place was. He felt that this place was definitely not peaceful. This place is filled with danger. I'm afraid that the quiet nuns will be in danger. I'll chase after them and protect them for a while. Yang Wu muttered to himself for a moment, then chased after the nuns. They had only left for 2 hours, so they probably hadn't gone far. He should still be able to catch up. Yang Wu urged the wind god's legs to run while continuing to heal his injuries. He also sensed the situation around him. He discovered that the heaven and earth profound chi here was more than 10 times denser than the mortal world. He also saw many old herbs in the hills. He even discovered that there were spirit herbs growing here. He was extremely shocked. This place is very suitable for cultivation, Yang Wu concluded in his heart. At the same time, he believed that this place might be a part of the transcendent realm. He did not collect the herbs here. As long as he was still in this place, it would not be difficult to collect them. It was more important to catch up to them first. Ahead, the nuns had indeed encountered a big problem. They were surrounded by another group of people, and the atmosphere was very tense. The people surrounding them were a group of people with extremely dense blood chi. Every one of them was very young, about the same age as the nuns. They had all reached the Earthsea realm, and even the leader had reached the heavenly fish realm. The leader was a young man who was about 30 years old. He had an eagle-like face and wore a scarlet blood armor. He carried a blood tiger saber on his shoulder and rode a blood-devouring tiger. Both the man and the horse were emitting a dense, killing intent. The young man's gaze landed on the quiet nuns, and there was no doubt that he had a lewd and obscene expression. "Does our House of Blood Fiend really want to start a war with us? We are not afraid of you." Qingli glared at the people surrounding them and shouted angrily. I've already said that as long as you leave that little nun behind, you'll have a way out. Otherwise, you'll have to stay here with her and serve us brothers. The young man riding on the blood-devouring tiger coldly said, Your House of Blood Fiend is not a good person. Why would our Hong Shan sect be afraid of you? Qingli replied strongly. Then all of you can stay behind. Brothers, attack. The young man, riding the blood-devouring tiger, didn't want to talk too much nonsense. He waved his hand to the people beside him, and they attacked the nuns. Chenhu, you're going too far. Junior sisters, let's fight it out with them. Qingli rebuked. She raised her long sword and charged towards the young man named Chenhu. The other nuns drew their swords. They definitely couldn't sit and wait for death. Otherwise, they would end up in a miserable state. There were only 13 nuns and 24 people from the House of Bloodfiend. Whether it was in terms of combat strength or numbers, the nuns weren't a match for the House of Bloodfiend. They didn't even have a chance to break out, and were all captured by the House of Bloodfiend. If it wasn't for the House of Bloodfiend wanting to invade them, they would have lost their lives on the spot. You refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. You nuns will serve us brothers well today. Ha! Chenhu laughed heartily. The people from the House of Bloodfiend let out lewd and obscene smiles. They couldn't wait to perform their bestial acts on the nuns. The young nun was brought in front of Chenhu. Her beautiful eyes were filled with panic. This was the first time she encountered such a terrifying thing. She recalled what she said about taking care of the young man and shouted unwillingly, Didn't they say that good people will be rewarded? Liar. Who is the liar? A lazy voice replied. Chapter 484. Qing Jing was a pure and flawless nun. She had grown up in a nunnery and had never come into contact with the people and matters of the outside world. She was incomparably kind and didn't have any schemes. She didn't expect that participating in this Heaven King rankings competition would be so dangerous. This was the first time she felt the dangers of the world. What happened to good people being rewarded? She was in despair. In her nervousness, she had forgotten that she had extraordinary battle prowess. She had too little experience in facing enemies. If she had more experience, she wouldn't have been captured so quickly with her Peking realm. She could even use her potential to counterattack. It was a pity. Just as she was about to be humiliated, she heard a voice that she thought was an illusion. She muttered, Why did I hear his voice? Am I hallucinating? This wasn't an illusion. Yang Wu had arrived. Chenhu reacted quickly and looked in Yang Wu's direction. He saw a sloppy youth in tattered clothes chewing on dry rations and walking towards them. He frowned and asked, Beggar sex people? Yang Wu instantly felt hurt. He stuffed all the dry rations into his mouth and glared at Chenhu, scolding, Are you blind? How does this lord look like a beggar? Your entire family is the beggar sex people. Immediately after, he amiably said to Qing Jing, Little nun, thank you for your dry rations. Do you have any more? I'm still a little hungry. As he spoke, he walked towards Qing Jing, completely ignoring the people from the House of Bloodfiend. Someone from the House of Bloodfiend walked up and blocked in front of Yang Wu. He shouted, Beggar, you're courting death. This person had a strong, evil aura. He carried a heavy hammer and smashed it towards Yang Wu's head. If this hit, his head would definitely explode and he would die. When this heavy hammer smashed down, Yang Wu actually didn't dodge and allowed this heavy hammer to smash down. After that person's heavy hammer smashed down, he realized that Yang Wu's head wasn't smashed. There was only an afterimage that gradually disappeared. A blood-curdling scream rang out from another direction. Unknowingly, Yang Wu had already appeared beside Qing Jing and broke the arm of the person who was holding her. It's immoral to be so rude to a monk. Yang Wu pulled Qing Jing behind him and said faintly, Bastard. The man with the heavy hammer turned around and cursed. He once again charged towards Yang Wu. This time, Yang Wu really did not dodge. However, when the heavy hammer fell on his body, he had already kicked out in advance. It landed directly on the man's crotch, and the kick shattered the man's balls. The man rolled on the ground, clutching his lower body as he screamed miserably, looking extremely pitiful. The others felt a chill run down their spines. If this kick landed on their bodies, they would be in trouble. "Stinky beggar, you dare to hurt my junior brother. You're dead meat." The people from the House of Bloodfiend were enraged. One of them wielded a long spear and charged towards Yangwu. In addition, there were two other disciples from the House of Bloodfiend who cooperated with him. The combat power they released was not to be underestimated. Three forces enveloped Yangwu at the same time, wanting to kill Yangwu in one fell swoop. Chun had been looking at Yangwu with narrowed eyes. He did not make a move, as he wanted to see what this unknown beggar could do. "Be careful." Qing Jing regained her senses and warned Yangwu. She wanted to help Yangwu block these forces. "Don't be afraid. Other than bullying women, what else can they do? A bunch of cowards," Yangwu said disdainfully. He finally made a move. Bang bang. In an instant, Yangwu threw out 3 punches. Every punch was as fast as lightning. Before the attacks from the 3 of them arrived, Yangwu's fist radiance had already landed on them, sending them flying on the spot. Taking advantage of this moment, Yangwu activated his ice blade wings. The ice blade wings swept out without a shadow. His target was the disciples from the House of Bloodfiend who were holding onto the nuns. The few of them did not know what had happened. Their arms were severed as they screamed miserably. A few arms fell to the ground, and it was a ghastly sight. The nuns regained their senses and quickly escaped. They were injured, but they still had the strength to escape. The people from the House of Bloodfiend panicked. They suspected that there were other people around. "Kill them." Chun, who was decisive enough, as he gave the order to kill without hesitation. The other disciples from the House of Bloodfiend who were not injured attacked again. Their target was the nuns who were escaping, and they wanted to kill them all. "I won't let the monks off either. The ones who deserve to die the most are all of you." Yangwu cursed as he opened his soul eye. The soul-extinguishing light swept towards the disciples from the House of Bloodfiend. This time, it wasn't as simple as severed arms. It was the soul-extinguishing eye. Wherever Yangwu's soul power went, there would be people who would die silently. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 people fell to the ground. The disciples from the House of Bloodfiend suffered a great loss. Chun, who kept looking at Yangwu. When he saw the soul eye in between Yangwu's eyebrows, he had goosebumps all over his body. He cried out, "Exceptional eye skill." In the next moment, Chun, who shouted, "Everyone spread out. Defend the god's court well. I'll kill him." Chun, who finally made his move. He soared from the blood-devouring tiger and slashed at Yangwu. The terrifying blood blade was like a blade from hell. It brought along an extremely terrifying aura of blood as it enveloped Yangwu. Yangwu looked at him and shot the soul-extinguishing light at Chun-Hu. Chun-Hu was like a bird startled by the twang of a bow. He quickly withdrew his move and swept to the side, afraid that he would be hit by the soul-extinguishing light. Chun, who was indeed an expert of the heavenly fish realm, he quickly attacked again. This time, he mobilized the surrounding heaven and earth mystic chi and slashed at Yangwu with his blade. The speed of his attack this time was much faster than before. He definitely couldn't let Yangwu look at him again. As expected, after Yangwu felt the majestic pressure, he pulled Qing Jing and quickly dodged. Bang bang. Wherever Chun-Hu's blade went, the protruding rocks on the ground were sliced off cleanly. Countless gravel splattered as a large area was attacked. This was the terrifying power of a heavenly fish realm expert. Yangwu brought Qing Jing and quickly retreated far away. He said to her, "Go and meet up with your senior sisters. I will deal with them." Without waiting for Qing Jing to reply, Yangwu had already charged at Chun-Hu again. His soul eye was still open and had a powerful deterrent force. He roared at Chun-Hu, "Is the heavenly fish realm that great? I will kill you." The soul eye's formless soul power shot at Chun-Hu. Once it hit Chun-Hu's glabella, Chun-Hu's soul would be severely injured even if it wasn't extinguished. Tiger Chun was scared out of his wits. He knew very well how terrifying a prodigy with potential was. He had no way of blocking this peerless eye technique. He kept changing his position, and his body was in a very sorry state. In addition, he took out a defensive shield to protect his head, so as to avoid being shot to death by this eye technique. We can't fight against this kid. Let's go. Chun-Hu shouted at the rest of the House of Bloodfiend. In this place, the strongest person in the House of Bloodfiend was Chun-Hu. If even he wasn't a match, the rest of them didn't have the confidence to challenge this youth in front of them. They all got on their mounts and left. Chun-Hu escaped the fastest. He didn't even wait for his mount and quickly slipped away. He was afraid that he would be killed by Yang Wu if he was a little slower. He cursed in his heart. Where did this little bastard come from? Why does he have such an exceptional eye technique? The next time I meet him, I must kill him. The eye technique was unparalleled in the world, but it didn't mean that there was no way to defend against it. As long as there was a defensive helmet, it would be able to block this eye technique attack. Now that he didn't have a defensive helmet, it was best to retreat first. Chun-Hu wasn't a reckless person. His combat strength was definitely not weak. Otherwise, he wouldn't have become one of the Heavenly Kings in the top 100 of the Heavenly King list. He just didn't want to suffer such a loss. As long as he was prepared, he was confident that he could take down this youth. You want to escape just like that? It's not that easy. Yang Wu sneered and took out the fallen moon bow. The power of the barbarian god's arm was injected into the bow. The 1,000-stone bow was fully drawn. In an instant, an arrow shot towards the blood-devouring tiger. Whoosh! The arrow was like a meteor chasing after the moon. In the blink of an eye, it caught up to the blood-devouring tiger and ruthlessly stabbed into its buttocks. Furthermore, it pierced through the tiger's entire body from its buttocks, causing it to explode on the spot. Chun-Hu had already flown far away, but when he heard the blood-devouring tiger scream, he turned around and roared, "Little bastard, I, Chun-Hu, swear that if I don't kill you, I'm not human." This voice was incomparably loud. A terrifying killing intent soared into the sky, indicating that he would not rest until Yang Wu was dead. If you have the ability, don't run. I can beat 10 of you by myself. Yang Wu pretended to chase after him and shouted. Chun-Hu really thought that Yang Wu was going to chase after him. He was so scared that he quickly sped up and ran away, not daring to stop at all. If it was a potential talent that was easier to deal with, he wouldn't have to be so afraid. But for Yang Wu's exceptional eye technique, he was temporarily helpless against it. Yang Wu didn't really chase after him. His soul eye's soul power was limited. He consecutively killed more than 10 people and scared Chun-Hu away. It was fine as long as he achieved the effect of saving people. Yang Wu retracted his soul eye and turned around to smile at Qing Jing. I already said that good people will be rewarded. I didn't lie to you, right? Yang Wu was handsome to begin with. Even if he looked very sloppy right now, his smile had unique flavor. When it landed in Qing Jing's eyes, it instantly made her heart pound like a deer. She didn't dare to look directly at Yang Wu. This feeling was very strange and was something she had never felt before. Seeing that Qing Jing didn't reply, Yang Wu walked over and said, "Master Qing Jing, junior sister, don't you remember me?" Ordinary nuns would be respectfully addressed as master. Qing Jing was still a young girl, so Yang Wu really couldn't call out such an old-fashioned form of address. He could only change it to junior sister. At this moment, the other nuns all walked towards Qing Jing. Their gazes all fell on Yang Wu. They really couldn't understand how a crippled person could suddenly descend like a heavenly soldier and save them. I remember. Qing Jing lowered her head and didn't dare to softly reply. You really remember? Why are you lowering your head? Don't tell me you were scared by me? Yang Wu looked at his tattered appearance and said awkwardly, Benefactor, your butt is exposed. Qing Jing's voice was like a mosquito's. She rubbed her red face to her ears. Chapter 485. After Yang Wu recovered, he first killed the Yiksha and then hurriedly chased after the nuns, so he did not have time to change his clothes. His clothes were tattered, making him look like a beggar, but his important parts were covered. He thought that there would be no problem, but when he rushed over, his already tattered pants were torn again, revealing a small part of his butt. Just now when Yang Wu scared Chun-Hu away, Qing Jing saw it. The reason why she lowered her head was mainly because she did not want to see something indecent. Yang Wu's hearing was extraordinary, so even if Qing Jing spoke softly, he could still hear it. He turned around to look, and his old face became hot. He quickly took out a cloak from the universe space and quickly covered himself. Cough, cough. Today's weather is really good. Yang Wu lightly coughed, looked up at the sky, and speechlessly said. His heart was incomparably embarrassed. Many thanks to Benefactor for saving us. Qing Li said gratefully to Yang Wu with the other nuns. Yang Wu repeatedly waved his hand and said, It's nothing. You guys saved me first, so this is what I should do. This time it was Qing Li's turn to be embarrassed. The person who saved Yang Wu was Qing Jing, not them. Although they did put in some effort, but compared to Qing Jing, who wholeheartedly took care of Yang Wu, it was insignificant. Qing Li was worthy of being the leader of their group. She changed the topic to ease the atmosphere and said, Benefactor, are you a member of the beggar clan? Yang Wu explained, I just had a small accident and was seriously injured. My clothes are tattered, so I'm not a member of the beggar clan. Then which sect are you from? Qing Li asked again. Yang Wu replied, Me? I am from a marquis clan. Yang Wu. Marquis clan? Qing Li and her junior sisters were stunned. They did not seem to have heard of such a power. It must be a new power. They all thought in their hearts. Hurry up and heal your injuries. I'll protect you. If you have anything to say, wait until you're better. Yang Wu said. Then I'll have to trouble you, Benefactor. Qing Li bowed to Yang Wu, then led her junior sisters to sit down and treat their injuries. They had suffered heavy injuries in the battle just now and needed to recover before they could continue their journey. Qing Jing was not seriously injured. She and Yang Wu stood guard for their junior sister. Yang Wu came to Qing Jing's side and sincerely thanked her. Junior sister Qing Jing, thank you for saving me. Qing Jing waved his hand and said, Saving a life is better than building a 7-storied pagoda. This is what we monks should do. No matter what, I will engrave it in my heart. I have decided to escort you all the way. Yang Wu said with certainty. Really? That's great. Qing Jing said happily. After a pause, she added, Then my senior sister and the others will be much safer. It's too dangerous here. What is this place? Why does it feel so dangerous? Yang Wu took the opportunity to ask. This is a broken space. You've already asked twice. When you came in, didn't your family tell you that this is the battlefield for the Heaven King ranking? Qing Jing asked back. Yang Wu hesitated and said, Actually, I didn't mean to fall here. Would you believe me? Where did you fall in from? From the Wolf Smoke mountain range. I've never heard of it. It must be an ancient mountain range. Since you're not here to participate in the Heaven King ranking, then you should hurry up and leave. There are evil Yaksha clan, Blood Wrm clan, and many ancient fierce beasts here. They will all see us humans as invaders and want to eat us all. Qing Jing said vividly. Her face was filled with anxiety. Yang Wu asked again, What do you mean by the Heaven King ranking? You don't even know about the Heaven King ranking? It seems that you must be from a place far away. It refers to the ranking of disciples under the age of 30 in the Heavenly Fish realm and the Earth Sea realm. Everyone's goal is to compete for this ranking and win glory for their respective sections. Whoever can enter the top 100 of the Heaven King ranking will be given the title of Heavenly King, which means that their future achievements will be very outstanding. Outside of the top 100, the top 1,000 can only be called Battle King. Those outside of the top 1,000 can only be called Battle King. Qing Jing explained. Yang Wu instantly understood the situation of the ranking. It turned out that it was the battle ranking of the younger generation. He was completely stunned. He thought to himself, there are too many geniuses under the age of 30 in the Heavenly Fish realm. In the mortal world, to be able to break through to the Earth Sea realm before the age of 30 was already an amazing genius. But here, there were actually existences under the age of 30 in the Heavenly Fish realm. It was really shocking. Qing Jing continued. Their goal for this trip was to kill more Yakshas and Blood Wrms and find items to break through. In this space, there were many king herbs and heavenly medicines. They were all of extraordinary value and could be collected and brought back to their sects to contribute. It was also an opportunity for them to break through. In this fragmented space, there were also relics left behind by the ancient people. If they could discover something, their strength might increase by leaps and bounds. After Yang Wu heard this, he felt that his horizons had been broadened. He finally understood that Little Hei's words about him being a frog at the bottom of a well were not wrong. Through Qin Jing's words, he knew that those who entered this fragmented space were basically all young people from various forces in the transcendent realm. They were all fighting for their own opportunities. They all wanted to get a chance to break through in a limited time and shake off their peers as much as possible. Only then would they be able to monopolize the competition in the future. This space only opens once every 20 years. Every time it opens, it will only open for a year. After a year, we will leave this place. If we don't leave, we will stay here for another 20 years. We will definitely become food for the yakshas and blood WIRMS. We have only been here for a little over a month. We still have to stay here for another 10 months before we can leave, Qin Jing said, a little distressed. Junior sister Qin Jing, we are martial artists. If we have the opportunity to improve our strength, why not? Why you look so unhappy? Yang Wu asked with a faint smile. Qin Jing looked unhappy and said, I don't want to cultivate. I just want to quietly chant scriptures and do things that make others happy. I'm satisfied. I'm afraid of killing. Yang Wu could tell that she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. He sighed in his heart. What a naive little nun. Yes, if you don't want to kill, I'll do it for you, Yang Wu said casually. No, you can't kill. It will shorten your lifespan. Qin Jing quickly stopped him. But if you don't kill them, they will kill you. What if they kill your senior sisters? Yang Wu asked. Qin Jing was stumped by Yang Wu's words and didn't know how to respond. She pinched the corner of her clothes and said, as long as we don't attack them, they won't come looking for trouble with us. Yang Wu smiled and didn't dwell on this issue. He continued to ask about the things he wanted to know from the side. Qin Jing didn't have any ulterior motives. She told Yang Wu everything. An hour later, Qin Li was the first to recover. She walked over and interrupted Yang Wu and Qin Jing's conversation. She said, Junior sister, we should go. Okay, senior sister. Are you all better? Qin Jing asked. Yes, we're much better, Qin Li replied. Then she said to Yang Wu, Benefactor, thank you for helping us. We will repay you in the future. Yang Wu could feel that this nun was very guarded. He didn't mind and said, You saved me, so I should save you. I plan to protect you for a while as repayment. There's no need. Our debt is settled, Qin Li said decisively. Yang Wu smiled and said, Our debt is settled. But I owe junior sister Qin Jing. I must protect her and not let her get hurt. Do you think you have the ability to protect her? Qin Li was speechless. She didn't expect the man in front of her to be so good at finding excuses. This made her even more certain that this man had other motives. Qin Jing said, Benefactor, you don't have to protect me. I will be safe with senior sister and the others. If you meet those people again, you'll be humiliated by them, Yang Wu said in a deep voice. Then he added, Even if you don't want me to protect you, I will follow you. Okay, then follow us. We will soon meet up with the 5 Peak senior brothers and junior sisters. You can leave then. Qin Li felt Yang Wu's determination. She might as well go with the flow. This place was full of danger. One more person meant one more strength. No matter what his motive was, as long as she was careful, it would be fine. Just like that, Yang Wu followed the 13 nuns on their way. Their goal was to meet up with their fellow sect members. They had been separated when they came in. Along the way, Yang Wu was very silent. He didn't take the initiative to talk to Qin Jing, nor did he talk to the other nuns. It was a bit inappropriate for a man like him to mingle with the nuns. If he got too close to them, it would affect their reputation. On the way, he picked herbs one after another. The nuns also picked them. However, their ability to identify herbs was very poor. There were some herbs with extraordinary effects that they didn't pick. When they saw Yang Wu pick them, some of them couldn't help but ask him what he was doing with the herbs. Yang Wu fully displayed his knowledge of pharmacology as an alchemist and patiently explained to them. They realized that the man in front of them had an extraordinary knowledge of pharmacology. They guessed that Yang Wu might be an alchemist's disciple and had a high level of medicinal pills to be able to quickly recover his body. Through the matter of identifying herbs, Yang Wu gradually gained the trust of these nuns. Their vigilance towards him was reduced a lot. Yang Wu didn't become complacent because of their trust in him. He still kept a distance from them and always paid attention to the movements around him to avoid accidents. After nightfall, Yang Wu prepared some spirit fruits for these nuns. This was what he found on the road. The nuns didn't refuse Yang Wu's kindness. Their impression of Yang Wu was getting better and better. I have to prepare some pills. Yang Wu went to a corner and took out a medicinal cauldron to refine pills. When the pills he refined attracted the pill thunder, the nuns couldn't help but exclaim, "Benefactor Yang is an alchemist." Chapter 486. The nuns had already thought that Yang Wu might be an alchemist, but when they realized that Yang Wu was an alchemist, they were still very shocked. Alchemists were a noble profession no matter where they were. They never had to worry about selling the pills they made, especially the pills that could increase one's strength. Many people would kneel down and follow alchemists, and many forces would treat alchemists as important guests and try their best to rope them in. The nuns of the Hung Mountain sect didn't care much about worldly affairs, but that didn't mean that they didn't know anything. Their sect also had alchemists, and it was very difficult for anyone to ask for a good pill. Yang Wu's pill attracted the pill lightning, which proved that he was at least a medicine king level alchemist. It was rare for someone to reach this level at such a young age, even in the extraordinary realm. What surprised them even more was that not only did Yang Wu attract the pill lightning, but he was also fighting against the pill lightning. Boom! Boom! The heavenly lightnings struck down like snakes, and Yang Wu rushed into the sky. He condensed his fist energy and punched out again and again, destroying the heavenly lightning that was striking down. They couldn't cause too much damage to him. As the heavenly lightning was destroyed, the power of the lightning and fire was quickly absorbed by the blue demoness in his heart, strengthening the power of the heart fire. The power of the Dan King's lightning tribulation could threaten a top-tier king-level warrior, and all the nuns present felt the terrifying power of the heavenly lightning. Yang Wu easily blocked it, and they all praised in their hearts. He's also a young heavenly king. Not only was he outstanding in alchemy, but he also had such powerful combat power. He was definitely a peerless genius, enough to squeeze into the heavenly king ranking. After Yang Wu successfully blocked the heavenly lightning, he opened the cauldron lid, and 10 king-level pills were formed. He said with satisfaction, "As my mental power increased, my alchemy skills also increased. The medicinal power is more perfect, and I can condense 2 more pills." Yang Wu put away the 10 king-level pills and continued on to the next cauldron. In this dangerous place, he had to make sufficient preparations, just in case. In one night, Yang Wu had refined 5 cauldrons of king pills. His speed shocked the nuns. Even their uncle master, a heaven pharmacist, was not as fast as Yang Wu in refining king pills. That night, Yang Wu not only concocted 3 cauldrons of healing pills, 1 cauldron of extreme speed pills, and another cauldron of Shinchi pills. He distributed the healing pills to the nuns, giving each of them 1. He also gave an extra pill to each of the nuns. This difference in treatment made the nuns envious. They sighed, "Good people will be rewarded." Qing Jing only took out a healing pill and said, "I'll take a healing pill just like the other senior sisters. Since it's for you, just take it." I said that good people will be rewarded. Yang Wu said, "I appreciate your kindness, but I can't be greedy." Qing Jing said resolutely. Yang Wu looked at Qing Li. Only Qing Li was able to convince Qing Jing. Qing Li tactfully said, "Little senior sister, Benefactor Yang gave it to you. If you don't let him repay his kindness, he won't be able to let go of the knot in his heart. This can be considered a sin on your part." Qing Li's vigilance towards Yang Wu had never been reduced. However, she had no choice but to speak up for Yang Wu since she had received a gift from him. Sure enough, Qing Jing listened to Qing Li's words and could only reluctantly accept the pill. Yang Wu and the nuns continued on their way. This day was destined to not be peaceful. They found several stocks of king-level medicine, and there were powerful, vicious beasts roaming around. The vicious beasts' battle prowess wasn't inferior to any king's. They didn't fear death and were bloodthirsty. They fiercely attacked Yang Wu and the nuns. These vicious beasts all looked strange and ferocious. There were vicious beasts with pig heads and tiger bodies. There were vicious beasts with 6 wings, vicious beasts with 3 horns. They all had innate offensive abilities, making it impossible to guard against. The nuns' battle prowess was very good. Qing Li's battle prowess was definitely the best among them. Her brilliant moves killed 2 vicious beasts, showing the style of a leader. The other nuns obviously didn't have enough battle experience. Under the fierce attacks of the vicious beasts, they quickly fell into a dangerous situation, especially Qing Jing, who didn't have any battle experience. She only had battle prowess, but she was also a burden to the others. It really made people speechless. Yang Wu had been protecting them all this time. When it was time to attack, he didn't hesitate to attack. Just as the ferocious beast with the head of a pig and the body of a tiger was about to bite Qing Jing, Yang Wu stepped in front of her and kicked out a whip kick, sending the ferocious beast that weighed over 1,000 pounds flying. Then he spun around and kicked out several times in a row. One by one, the ferocious beasts were sent flying in different directions. They couldn't withstand the power of Yang Wu's attack and were kicked flying while vomiting blood. Their sturdy bodies fell to the ground and stirred up a cloud of dust. "Benefactor Yang, be careful behind you," Qing Jing reminded. Suddenly, the 6-winged rat beast attacked. Its sharp teeth bit towards Yang Wu's head. Yang Wu, as if he had eyes on the back of his head, did an extremely brilliant upside-down hook. His head fell backwards, and his feet drew a beautiful arc to the top. He kicked backwards, and it was right in the middle of the 6-winged rat beast's sharp mouth, causing it to explode. Yang Wu flipped over and landed on the ground. His appearance was quite handsome. Looking at him, Qing Jing's heart beat extremely fast. After getting along with him for a few days, she had an inexplicable feeling whenever she looked at him. She couldn't figure out what was going on. At this time, she could only silently recite scriptures to calm her emotions. After Yang Wu severely injured a few vicious beasts, the pressure on the other nuns was greatly reduced. Under their joint efforts, they slaughtered all the vicious beasts. After killing these vicious beasts, it was time to divide the herbs. Qing Li suggested that Yang Wu take half, and they keep the other half. After all, Yang Wu was an alchemist, and he had contributed the most. Without him, they might not have been able to obtain these king medicines. Qing Li's way of dividing the herbs, the others didn't have any objections. They all expressed their approval. Yang Wu also didn't hold back. He took the king medicines and some spirit herbs that he deserved. In this place where the xian qi of heaven and earth was rich, the growth of herbs was very good. They should be able to obtain a lot of high-grade herbs. Yang Wu dragged the vicious beasts to the side and cut off their important parts. Some of their leather armor, bones, and sharp teeth were all materials for refining weapons. They were valuable and couldn't be wasted. He also dried a lot of the vicious beast meat and stored a lot of dried meat in case of an emergency. Yang Wu continued to follow them. In the next 2 days, they encountered a lot of attacks from vicious beasts, but they also obtained a lot of herbs. The danger was proportional to the harvest. Yang Wu was very happy. He really wanted to keep going like this. This way, he could collect more good herbs, and he could refine more pills. In these 2 days, they also met some people. These people didn't have any communication with them. They were hunting vicious beasts and collecting herbs. These people were the geniuses of other forces. Their combat strength was quite good. At least, they were much stronger than the nuns of the Hongshan sect. Although these people didn't talk to Yang Wu, they were all muttering in their hearts. Why were these nuns hanging out with a young man? Moreover, he was a handsome young man. Could it be that they had an affair with him? Some people didn't want to ask this question, but some people didn't care at all. When Yang Wu and the others had just killed a wave of vicious beasts, another group of people appeared near them. Someone sneered and said, "You nuns are so shameless. You're actually hanging out with a man. Could it be that chanting sutras is too lonely, so you're looking for a little brother to accompany you?" There were a lot of people in this group. There were more than 50 people, each of them wearing different clothes and holding different weapons. Some of them were sitting on mounts, while some didn't. There were a mix of men and women. The one who just spoke was an ugly woman. She had a bare waist and a tiger back. Her clothes were very flirtatious. Looking at her made people want to vomit. When Qingli saw these people, her face lit up. She walked up with the nuns behind her and said, "Are you the senior brothers and sisters of the 5 mountain sects?" The 5 mountain sects were divided into the Taishan sect, the Song mountain sect, the Hung mountain sect, the Hung mountain sect, and the Huashan sect. These 5 sects were the same breadth and branch. They were called the 5 mountain sects, along with the House of Blood Fiend, the House of Carefree, the House of Phantom, the House of Dragon and Tiger, and the House of Tang. If any of these sects separated, there was no way to compete with the other 4 sections. At present, the most powerful sects in the 5 mountain sect were the Taishan sect and the Song mountain sect. These 2 sects had taken turns to hold the position of sect master for the past few hundred years. They dominated the strongest power of the 5 mountain sect. The other 3 sects were about the same strength. The most difficult to predict was the Huashan sect. Since the establishment of the 5 mountain sect, the Huashan sect had always been the leader. However, 500 years ago, Huashan sent a traitor, which led to the fall of the Huashan sect's leader. Many mainstays were killed. The Hung mountain sect was one of the sects in the 5 mountain sect that stood aloof from worldly affairs. In the beginning, they only joined forces with the other sects to fight against the demon race. They didn't particularly care about the power struggle. I'm not your senior sister. I'm not worthy of your friendship." The ugly woman who spoke just now sneered. "Junior sister Ma, that's enough. Don't talk nonsense." In this group of people, a handsome young man in a green robe reprimanded the ugly woman. This young man in green was the leader of this group. His name was Fan Run, and he was one of the top 10 figures in the younger generation of the Song Mountain sect. He had already reached the early stage of the heavenly fish realm. The ugly woman was called Aso Hua, and she was a disciple of the Taishan sect. She was at the peak of the Earth-Sea realm. She was born ugly and was extremely jealous of beautiful women. Especially when she saw the pure Qing Jing, her heart was filled with anger. "I'm not talking nonsense," Aso Hua said unhappily. Then she pointed at Qing Jing and scolded, "Senior brother Fan, look at this little nun. She's like a B***TCH hiding behind that man. Where are the rules of a monk?" Bah! The expressions of the nuns instantly sank, and their eyes were filled with anger. A figure suddenly rushed out and shouted, "B***TCH should be slapped." Slap!